gotta get stuff done, but let's make sure.
Yeah, I probably won't go late because I still have an eyebrow appointment.
Oh. All right, let's see if this actually connects. I clicked streaming. It works. Make sure I can hear myself. Yep, I do. All right. It works. An eyebrow appointment. You know, I think I want to have one of those one day, but I think I really would like to have a hair appointment. I need a hair appointment. I need to glam up. Hey, Grape, good evening. We are just going hard at it. It's Nomi and I back together again after a long hiatus. Fortunately, we just have found out that a little time apart only brought us together stronger. Sort of. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the Monday Hangover, but I commented that Joe told me that my old personality was musky and old. And Nomi, you know, came in saying that she liked my old personality. So she also clarified that I'm old and musky in my personality, my disposition. And that's fine. You know what? It's fine.
It's
I'm not.
fine.
I'm
It's
not.
all okay.
I'm not offended. It is what it is. Anyway,
It is what it is.
we are going to play some golf because we just wanted to get back into the swing of things. But also because it's just kind of fun and easy. Are you good to go? Oh, I haven't even... No, I'm okay with the ball that I have. Are you okay?
I am all okay.
And we're putting it on the random, and we're just going. I wonder if this connected to my YouTube, because my OBS said... Oh! We're going hard at the Olympic... Oh, I haven't even...
Oh, Odyssey.
Hey, DL, Logical Spark. I didn't realize that this was live on YouTube because my OBS said something about Restream not working, and it looks very different over here. So, welcome in. I've been to Buc-ee's a lot lately, so it's just like, welcome in. So, all right. I think I got everything. I think I'm getting back into the thing of streaming. This is how it works, right? All right. Where did you go? Oh. You went.
I'm already in.
You already went.
One.
No, you didn't. Did you?
I did.
What?
I did. No, I don't lie. Trust.
No lie. Trust.
No lie.
Oh well, I didn't. Okay, all right. I believe it. I didn't do too badly. I got the two. I hope everybody had a good Monday. I went to the store today, and the lady that was bagging bagging my groceries had a really friendly smile, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing? You know, hope you." Oh crap! Hope you had a good day. And she's like, "Well, I had to work yesterday, but it's Monday. Monday being Monday." And I said what I always say, that I like Mondays. And she's like, and I told her, I said, because it's a fresh start of the week. And she's like, that's a really great way to look at it. And I said, furthermore, it's like what Anne of Green Gables says. Tomorrow's fresh with no mistakes in it. And she paused and she bagged my groceries and she smiled to herself and she said, you know, she did say that. No, yes, she did. So, you know, be the reason somebody reflects on life today. Where do we go? Oh, did you find a secret?
Nope.
Oh, there. Oh, Nomi's going overboard into the big pool. Let's try this one. Nope. Wow. That did not work. It didn't go as planned either.
Dang it.
Go forward, young man. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I will take it. Did you just say Anne of Green Gables? I love that show. I've never seen the show. I'm all about the movie. What about you, Nomi? Have you ever seen Anne of Green Gables?
There's more emotion in the movie.
Yeah, I've never seen the TV show. In fact, wait, the TV show, you mean the continuation, like with Megan Follows?
Is that what they're talking about?
I don't know. I do remember that there were continuations of the original cast, minus the ones that died. Maybe that's... Woo! Okay, no. We went back. I am not familiar with this course. Oh my goodness. But it's okay. I'm doing all right. No, I will tell most people that the book is always better, except in the case of the Anne of Green Gables. I don't know. I liked the movies way better than the books. In the books, there was just a lot of information, and it just kind of got, I don't know. Oh, I messed up badly.
Oh no.
Oh no. Here we go. I can do it. Yeah!
No!
I did it.
Did you go full throttle?
Yeah. And then
Dang
you
it,
got to really like time the cloud. Oh. I got nervous there. Do you see the voodoo doll over in the corner? That's scary. Oh. Oh, nice.
That could have been a hole in
So
one.
I was gonna say, it's possible to get a hole in one on that one. I got some catching up to do. So what's new? What did I miss, Nomi? Tell me about the internet while I was gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had dinner with Dr. Lily yesterday.
Oh my. Oh.
Yeah, so she's just like, oh my gosh, I've been away because my big girl job has me doing this. I was like, oh, I know, but we caught up on so many things, so that's what happened.
What had happened?
What had happened? So I had to fill her in of like what's happened in the news of internet. So I guess nothing. It's ho-hum. Fortnite has a Simpsons Fortnite map right now, so that's kind of new. What else? What else is like newsworthy for me to share to you?
Yeah, what have I missed? Anything on some streamies? Did you guys play any golf or some repo or something like that on Tuesdays while I was gone?
No, we were waiting for you.
Were you?
Yeah.
Aww. So does that mean tomorrow night the gang's all back together?
If you start kind of late, because I have a movie at 5:30.
Oh, what are you doing? You wait for me to come back and then you don't even plan for me to be there.
Well, first of all, we didn't communicate how long you were going to be gone.
I did tell you I came back the other day.
You did, but I didn't know if you needed some extra time. Like, you know what? The internet can wait for me. That kind of mindset.
Yeah, you didn't yet. Wait, are we supposed to go that way? Nomi! What did you do?
Oh, are we?
I don't know. Apparently we can if we send it fast enough. Or hard enough, I guess.
What the heck?
I'm gonna try it. Oh, no.
No!
No!
Tabitha misled me.
Wow, I misled myself right off the edge of the world. Hey, Chaz! Thank you!
Oh, I don't know.
Come on. Ah, so close. All right. We
Oh,
might just have to take the long way around. Or, oh, so close. I see. So I might just have to play with all the other friends that we have. Oh my. Wow. Why couldn't that work the first time? There we go. Wait. Hey, there we go.
Oh, it was Sevi's birthday this past weekend. Got to do that.
That's
That was
right. I
fun.
wasn't able to attend. How long did you guys go for?
Like 6 hours, I think.
Wow. I thought I heard Madam Joe Rosie say that it was like 4 in the morning?
Oh, because time change. Yeah. So it could have been that. Yeah, for her.
Oh, where's the flag? Where am I going? Did I go the right way? Where's the flag at? Oh. Hey! There we go. What did you guys do on the stream?
We played some fun games. Like we tried to do an escape room type of game. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I miss everything.
And then Moss was a little frisky with the alcohol.
Oh no.
He was quite funny.
Well, he is pretty funny. I mean, I think so in any case.
Yeah, he's actually quite hilarious. I love Moss.
Yes, indeed. Oh, it's fantastic in the chat saying, go Maria. Well, I'll have you know I have a different Latina over here, okay? It's not Miss I can't win, I'm not good at this game, Maria. So, this is your classic, I give it my best shot and still fail, but sometimes luck is on my side, Nomi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I wouldn't call it luck, I call it God.
Hey, don't be using God against me.
Yep.
God doesn't have any favorites, okay? Except for me and 3 other people.
Oh my gosh!
Case in point, right there.
What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say.
Masa Doodle was,
Oh, Mossy Doodle, yeah.
Well, so...
I love calling him that. Mossy Doodle's like a fun...
A Mossy Doodle. It's better than a moss hole, you know?
Hey,
See...
let me ask him if he's free. I'm like, hey, Mossy Doodle, do you want to play golf with me and Tabitha?
You're gonna steal my nicknames. Everybody does. Everybody steals
I
them.
wait. Oh, I think I called him Mossy Doodle before anyone else did.
I doubt it!
No.
I doubt it. See, because you seem so surprised and so happy.
No, it's like, oh, okay, it could picked up. That's why I was surprised and excited.
Wow. Wow. Your Hispanic is showing. Where am I going? Reverse controls redeem. Oh, I forgot about that. I do not redeem. I forgot about my game redemption point. So I don't know if you saw, if you heard about it. When I was playing with my challenge with Maria Nomi, I was like falling so far behind. Maria was killing it somehow. Like she won every game. And it was coming down to, I think, the last game. Wasn't it fantastic? When all of a sudden everybody's going to start using my stuff against me. And I updated a lot of my kick points. And so one of them was, like, ADD, where I had to nonstop click the controller. I wasn't allowed to stand still, so it didn't give me any time to aim. And then there was also reverse the controls. So I would reverse everything that I do, and Fantastic was gonna redeem that one for me whilst we were doing this, and it was like, oh my gosh, what have I done to myself?
What have I done? Oh my gosh.
I'm having a hard time with this one.
Fucking hate this. Like this hole in particular, I hate this one.
I don't remember this one. I think I've only played this course twice. We ain't gonna make it, are we? Oh crap.
Make it. Okay, thank you, Jesus. You knew I needed that.
Ah! Oh, no.
Ah!
You and Maria are friends now? Yeah. Winner takes all, 3rd game. Yep. Yep. And then, you can't see it, but Maria's up there somewhere. I'm gonna see if she wants that piece of trash art piece that I made so lovingly.
I thought you were gonna say piece of cake. I was like, oh, piece of cake actually sounds pretty.
I had some ice cream earlier.
Good.
Mossy Doodle, no matter what, will always be a moss hole in our hearts. 100%. You know, only when he's being a moss hole, you know. We can't all be moss holes, and some of us don't.
He's our moss hole.
He's our little Mossy Doodle. So cute. Sounds like some kind of like swamp creature. Like a really cute swamp creature that lives in a moss hole.
Well, there's your new idea. For
I know, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, what would this creature look like? I'm gonna figure that out. I'm working on his commission pieces. They're turning out pretty fab. Just gotta get him to approve certain things, and then I can start adding some color. Color.
Also, I have not eaten all today, so I'm like, yay, go me.
Why have you not eaten? What's the point in that?
I'm just gonna see where this hole is taking me real quick.
Okay.
Intermittent fasting.
Oh. I don't want to do that. All right, which
I mean,
one
I
did
don't
you?
want to do it either.
Oh, oh! Hole in one! Are you
you.
kidding me? What? Okay, that was excellent. Maria is fun to hang with. Tabitha is fun to troll. Yeah, sounds about right. Although Maria can be mean. Mean. Intermittent fasting. So, like, how long have you been intermittent?
It's gonna be 6 o'clock my time, so 24 hours now.
Ew, gross.
I literally did it unintentionally.
How do you unintentionally? Well, never mind. You can totally unintentionally fast. I don't know where to go. I'm lost. I'm gone. We're lost. Andy is gone. They're gonna move from their house in 3 days, and it's all your fault. Oh, I overshot it. No! Nomi, where do I go?
Sorry.
Oh, I missed. This sucks.
Dude, I honestly don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, in life or the game, just in general.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, okay, so how did you accidentally fast?
Well, so I wouldn't say I've not been feeling myself today, but I have not been feeling myself today, but I was just like, oh, like, food does not sound appetizing right now. I think I can wait. I think I can skip lunch. And then I finally messaged you. I was like, oh, let me see if Tabitha's ready. And then I realized, like, oh, I haven't eaten.
Okay, I've had those moments where I get busy with stuff and I don't realize that I haven't eaten. I don't know if that it counts as fasting or just forgetting to eat. I feel like fasting is a lot more intentional. Would you say?
Like, that's what I said, like unintentional intermittent fasting. So I was like, oh, I guess I fasted. Whoa.
Whoa.
All right, I can feel the ketones working in my body.
What are ketones?
Or ketones? Yeah, that's what makes you go into ketosis, where your body's now doing keto stuff.
What is keto stuff?
So you have emptied out whatever is in your gut. And then so you have clean stuff, so you have to like slowly bring your body into eating clean stuff.
Do you not know?
I think it's my brother-in-law who's like told me about it.
Oh,
He's told me a lot about it. I'm like, all right. Well, I trust him because he has a.
It was just funny because it seemed like you were really strolling through the description. Oh crap! I did what you did, and I was like, do you not know? Oh, this worked out for me.
If Moss joins us, Moss will know.
Oh, does Moss do Moss doodles? Go into ketosis often?
You know who does that? Alec Baldwin's finger.
I don't even know what ketosis is. It sounds terrible. Hang on. I'm going to Google search the ketosis. What is ketosis? I think I'm spelling it right. Symptoms of ketosis. Bad breath. What?
No.
Dehydration. Flu-like symptoms. Reduced appetite. This does not sound appealing. Why? Why would you do that to yourself?
I mean, I brush my teeth daily, if anything, every after meal.
Ketosis is a metabolic state characterized by elevated levels of ketone bodies in the blood or urine. Physiologically, ketosis is a normal response to low glucose availability. In the psychological ketosis, ketones in the blood are elevated above. This is a lot of words to not really give you the synopsis.
That's why when I was saying it's like my brother-in-law was telling me this, I was like, huh,
yeah,
okay.
I
literally just went, huh.
Look at this. Is being, or you can't see, but is being in ketosis healthy? Whether being in ketosis is healthy depends on individual health status and how it's managed, as it can offer benefits like weight loss and improved blood sugar, but also carries the risks of nutrition deficiencies, kidney issues, and potential heart concern. I feel like I would just rather exercise more and still continue to eat. Right? Right, Fantastic? You feel me? Yeah. Oh, on the way to heaven? I don't know. That just sounds dangerous, going into ketosis.
Mossy Doodle says, oh, streaming, boo. He doesn't want to be live on Tabitha.
Oh, I was going to say, he doesn't have to be live. I'm live. He could just be himself.
he doesn't want people to hear his voice on air.
Oh, he doesn't want to tell people about the ketosis?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fine, Moss. You don't have to care about me and my health and everything. It's fine. I'll learn to love him anyway. I will learn to love again. I will learn to trust. Once this broken heart has mended, I will oh, I am going way too slow. Oh, this is not going to end well. I've got 20 seconds to make a major life decision right here. I'm not ready. 10.
She's not ready to come in.
Ah! I did it! No! All right, come on, stop. Ah, go in! Yeah! With 1 second left! Grape says, Tabitha, while you have been gone, they have found the end of the internet, and it was a dark, dark place. I guarantee it.
It was a dark end. So I told Moz, it's like, she said it's okay. She will find a way to love you in any way. And he's like, wait, what?
Men. You throw the L word around and suddenly they scurry like a bunch of little vermin. Makes them uncomfortable, I guess. You can't tell somebody you love them without it getting all weird?
Yeah, like what happened to telling your friends I love you?
I know, it's
and
still...
he's just like, what emotional trauma has he endured?
I know.
That he freaks out on
That some woman on the internet that he's only met once in real life, you know, tells love.
And here's the thing, I've only briefly met Moss in real life. And this is before I knew who anyone was, or still anyone. No.
I mean, I met Moss at MegaCon, I would say all of maybe 6 to 8 minutes. That's probably how much time I've spent with Moss.
I just remember meeting him with Joe. We were outside, and then he goes up to Joe. He's like, "Hey, Joe!" Hey. And I'm like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
I met him inside. I forget who he was. I think he was standing with Sevi, maybe. And
God bless.
It was like, "Oh, you're him," and everything. And I was kind of shocked. I was very impressed with how well he takes care of himself. Because let's face it, in our circles, nerds are not known for being gym rats. So I was very impressed. Very impressed. And
yeah, like you can tell. He can tell that Milk took care of that body.
Yeah. And so that was my first impression of I'm like, whoa, hey, what a refreshing sight in MegaCon. Oh my goodness. And we talked, and he was like, "Oh, hey," you know, the way he does. Wait, which way do we go? There's two directions.
Oh, we convinced him, Tabitha. He says, "Give him a minute. He's coming."
Oh no, did he hear us talking about him?
Oh shoot, I fell down.
Wait, which way do we go?
His ears are burning.
I don't understand. Tabitha, if you told me you loved me, I would probably run. I don't really know you, and vice versa. Oh, 100%. Look, it's still weird when my best friend of 20 years tells me she loves me. Okay? It's weird.
Tabitha finds it weird when I tell her that I love her.
I do. You gots to earn that from Tabitha. We don't just throw out the L word, you know. We have a Moss-like reaction to the L word.
It's true.
I don't know where to go. What's happening? Oh, I'm upside down. Okay. I am Spider-Man.
Spooderman.
What is happening? Oh.
Ah, Tabitha.
All right.
No!
What? I did. What? It wanted from me. Oh no, this is evil. Evil.
Oh, we should probably go into your lobby since Mossy's gonna be joining us.
Mersey?
Mossy.
I have to find where mine at. It's been a while, guys. I don't even know where my... Where's... Oh, there it is. I'm gonna go over to the lobby while we wait for Narmi. What? I don't understand! Nomi can tell me she loves me. I'm okay with that. Kidding. You know, it's fine if you want to tell Nomi that you love her, or she is allowed to tell you.
She
It's fine.
finally told me. I caught that tail end that she wants to. That she Tabitha loves me. Finally, only what 2 years of friendship.
This was fantastic, sarcastic.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Whatever.
he was saying that he was fine if you wanted to tell him that you love him. You know?
I'm alright.
Sounds like a dream come true. Where am I going? Why am I in urns? Oh no! Oh no! Okay, actually I'm fine. I got a hole in 2! Oh my gosh, albatross! I thought I got a hole in 1, but nevertheless, how impressive of me. I'm stressed out. My goodness, thinking about Moss, thinking about Nomi and Fantastic's relationship, getting a hole in 2. It's a lot of pressure on me.
I got
right
an
now.
albatross too. Yay!
Look at that, and I beat Nomi by 3 points. How long?
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. I feel like we both were just struggling so hard through that, but it's fine. It's fine.
Wow. How? Let me tell him we will be in Tabitha's lobby.
Fantastic's like Nomi. Oh, I'm all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, you got the hole in 1 and you weren't even trying, were you?
Maybe.
I think that must be the case with this one. You just don't even try. I'm not even gonna look. I'm not even gonna look.
It's like back in the day when you try to turn on your computer and then you like want it to run faster so you don't pay attention to it.
I didn't make it.
Did you ever do
Nope.
that?
Yeah. Actually, I do that when I like cook or whatever. I just get something started, which I should have done with my Fortnite. Excuse me. So then just I'll let it update and then just walk away because you know the old saying is a watched pot never boils. It has definitely been upgraded to the 21st century of a watched load screen never loads. Never loads. Oh, I overshot. What is Moss putting on his makeup or something?
Putting on his guy liner on.
I thought dudes were like ready to go at all times. Dude, he'd look pretty good with a guy liner.
I think he would look good with guy liner on too.
I think we are in agreement that Moss needs some guy liner in his life.
Yeah.
There's some
Let's tell
guys
him
that just
let's try on that. Let's put guy liner on him when we see him at Mega's.
I mean, I can't infringe on his person. That's more your territory.
Wait, what do you mean? That's more of my territory.
Infringing on people's person.
Like
And
you
they're-
can touch the ginger, not me.
Their comfort zone.
That's true, because I had to get out of your, or you had to. I made you get out of your comfort zone. You're like, no, we're friends. We're having soft tacos.
Oh, Moss messaged me, although it's more of a professional message, so.
He's probably gonna ask. He's like, did Nomi say you'll find any way to love me?
I need
this
you to
your
love
way?
me.
He's like, is this your way of telling me that you finally admit that you have the love of friendship with me? Speak of the actual devil.
What are you telling him you love him finally?
Yeah, I knew it. Like, you telling him that you love him, he would come around.
Fantastic?
No, Moss.
Oh. I thought
Did you literally call me the devil?
No.
I called you what did I call him? Nomi?
Mossy Doodle.
Moss-
Mossy Doodle. That's what I called him. I did call you a
Wait,
Moss
hold-
too. but
Mo-
yeah.
Mossy Doodle.
Yeah.
Moss. Did I
No,
not call
Nomi, you literally
Hold on.
just said, speak of the literal devil, is what you just said.
She did. Yeah. Yeah.
We're moving
I'm
past
shocked
The
that you
conversation's
came
over.
to hang
But-
out with us, Moss, due to the,
Yeah.
you know, nature of the people that are here. So.
The nature of the people that are here. Are you insinuating that I am a misogynist?
No, it's because Nomi's mean sometimes.
Well, we're not
She is
calling
mean
you for
sometimes.
dinner.
She's mean all the time. Say,
Yeah.
Case in point.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Actually, okay, so I'm concerned about this because the other day, last week, 3 people at my office were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Like, "Well, you look mad." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, "No, I'm not mad. I'm focused on something." But even like my boss, like, "Hey, like, you look like you've been upset and mad all day. Are you okay? Is there anything that I can
Probably
do to
because you've
help?"
been
I was like,
intermittent
"Oh my
fasting.
gosh." Well, that too. But I was like, "No, like, I'm actually fine. I guess I just need to focus on my outward appearance." But
Yeah.
I had a good day.
Yeah, get rid of that RBF. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But okay, Moss, I actually have a legit question. Didn't I call you Mossy Doodle before Tabitha has called you Mossy Doodle?
No.
Oh, I have no idea. People call me all
Um,
kinds of stuff. I have no idea who calls me what anymore.
I'd like to say I've never once heard her call you Mossy
I've
Doodle.
called him Mossy Doodle
And
before.
she seemed so excited and surprised when I said it, and then all of a sudden she was like, "Hey, you know, it'd be cool stealing Tabitha's nickname for Moss."
I called him Mossy Doodle before you did.
I mean, really, the only thing that I don't get called is favorite son. So, I mean, you know, it's
What a coincidence!
Uh,
Neither do I.
wow. Isn't that crazy
That's
how that
crazy.
works out?
So crazy.
Small world.
I'm here
Small
for
world.
you on that. We should start a group.
Non-favorite son.
Well, thanks for joining us. Was it hard putting your guy liner on?
My guy liner?
Yeah.
Why? Do I sound like I'm a little bit emo today?
You would look great with some guy liner. We were.
I was a wannabe emo when I was in middle school. I
Was
had
that-
the hair and everything. I just wasn't skinny enough.
There were pictures with guy liners.
No guy liner, but I
Oh.
did straighten my hair when I was in middle school.
Moss, did you own a pair of Tom shoes?
Tom shoes. I don't even know what those are.
You don't know. Wait, you definitely were such a poser for if you wanted to be emo. You don't know what Tom shoes are?
Are those
No.
That was like
are
a
those
critical
those
staple. Oh, go ahead, Tabitha.
are those like those boating shoes? No, that's Sperry's. Never mind.
That's what I immediately went to was the boating shoes. I'm like, that's very frat house. That's not
I
very
was gonna
emo.
say, I was like, I don't remember any emo folk wearing boating shoes.
You could if you
These
finessed them
Toms?
with
You mean the
outfits.
Toms that are like the poor person, like the old woman makes them by hand in third world Colombia Tom shoes?
Yeah,
Emos wear these shoes?
dude, that
What?
was such a staple item.
Okay,
Yes.
emos wear Vans and Converse. What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah,
no.
I had Vans, and that was supremely emo. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
real emos wore Tom shoes.
Okay, maybe where you
I-
come from in your third world country, but
No,
not
no,
in
no.
ours.
I'm gonna Google this.
You don't
I'm
tell
gonna-
me what's proper emo. All right.
I asked a girl if she was cranky today, and we chatted about the struggles of life. While she talked and I listened, she was happy the rest of the day. I was told I was the child my parents didn't want by my parents, so that was a thing. Fantastic. The fact that you made it out of alive asking a girl if she was cranky is a miracle in and of itself. I don't understand,
real quick.
Nomi. I have never once in my life seen an emo person, whether it's a stereotype in real world or on the internet in a movie, wearing third world old woman Columbia shoes.
It looks like something maybe a woman would wear, but not a man.
Yeah. Well, a man
Like,
would
I'm
totally
a
wear
man.
that in, the South Sudan because his grandma makes them in the basement to sell on the side of the
Mom.
road.
Check your text messages because I'm gonna send you something.
Oh.
Oh, good
And-
lord.
No, it's nothing bad unless you want it bad. But
Unless I want it bad? What are you talking about?
What are you doing?
I mean, unless you want something bad.
Wow.
But look at this.
No!
Look at this photo.
No,
Oh,
no,
like-
me.
I'm looking at my phone. Nothing is there.
That is not emo. That is
Yes,
grandpa.
it is.
That is
A
grandpa.
lot of
That's
emo
what grandpa
weddings.
put. That's what grandpa put on to go out and fetch the mail.
Wait.
Dude, I just remember all-time low.
What?
Who else
No.
wore these? Family Force 5 wore all these shoes and everything.
No.
Considering Family Force 5 wasn't emo, but
They
like
were hardly
even-
emo.
Yeah, they were far from. But dude,
They just had the hair.
Devil Wears Prada. Like Patrick wore the Tom shoes.
I, I don't really even pay attention to what they wear on their feet, honestly.
Man, Moss doesn't pay attention to what people call him. He doesn't pay attention to what shoes folks are wearing.
He doesn't pay attention that people tell him that we love him. And
I mean,
all.
does he even
I'm
care?
more focused on the bigger picture. Like,
What
when's
is
my
the-
band gonna take off?
I was gonna say, what is the bigger
That's
picture?
actually a very legit.
Okay, I'm just gonna say all the emo-ish folk I've ever seen wear Converse and Vans. So I've never once seen him wear this.
Checks
Maybe it was a West
Skate shoes.
Coast thing or something.
Dude, no.
That's what I'm in the middle of the Midwest, and all the emos around here were in skate shoes.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's like, is my world really smaller than I think it is?
No, your guys' world is smaller.
I
Mine is
beg
huge.
to differ.
No, your world is smaller, not mine.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
No,
there's
no.
this reel. There's this reel that I
Go ahead, but
I-
hold on. Let me finish this.
I saved this reel because I liked it so much because like haha I relate to it because this was my generation, and then now I'm gonna send it to you guys because like no I'm gonna prove you mossholes wrong.
oh wow.
This is this is prime live stream content. It's
Yeah.
listening to everybody send each other reels, private messages.
Yeah.
I found it. So Tabitha, I'm sending it to you. On
Yeah. Okay.
Instagram.
All right. All right.
Mossy, I'm sending it to you on Discord.
See, she calls you Mossy. She has never called you Mossy Doodle. Okay.
You're halfway there. You're halfway there. You're about a third of the. You got about a third of the syllables.
Mossy.
Okay, no, this guy is 100% lying. All the rest of the shoes, those I've seen every single person at the mall, even at church,
Dude,
wearing.
No, you can deny it as much as
I'm
you
not
want. Thong
denying. It's not
Thong shoes
true.
Pivotal clothing item, shoe item.
Never
for
seen
emo.
one of these freaks wear those kinds of shoes.
You never just seen me around. It's fine.
Well, that's what I said. Did I stutter?
That legit looks like a woman's shoe. The
It
dude's
does.
feet are so dainty.
Yeah, it does. It looks like something you would go fetch water at the well with.
What is that shirt?
What is that hair?
Oh, that's typical emo hair. That's,
Well, I know that, but still, but who wants to use that much product to keep you from visually impaired? You know?
You're welcome, Tabitha.
Yeah,
For
I
what?
had my hair covered one of my eyes when I was in middle school.
Was
like,
it
all the time.
blonde? Was it blonde?
It was. I didn't dye it or anything. As far as I went was straightening it. That's as far as I went.
I wasn't allowed to
But
keep
it
hair
goes
in my
over an eye.
face. You know, during like the Spice Girl era, you know, we had the little wisps of hair, and the wisps of hair started getting wider and wider. My mom hated it. She called me a cockroach. And so, it didn't help that I would grease them down because that's what I saw the other girls doing. And so she only let me wear my hair like that on Sundays. I was not allowed to wear my hair like that any other time of the day because she let me know emphatically that she hated them and that I looked like a cockroach.
Wait, did you just say your mom said she loves you lymphatically?
Emphatically. She would tell me emphatically.
With all of her lymphatic system, every lymph node in her body was full of love.
No, hate for
And
that
also
hairdo.
fluid.
She hated it. She hated hair in
Yeah.
the face.
Tabitha, should we end this game so we can get Mossy Doodle in here?
Don't act like you know him.
I do know him.
Don't act like you
finish
call
the
him Mossy Doodle.
Mossy Doodle went to town.
That's okay. Everybody
riding
always
on a
steals
fool.
my nicknames for people. It's fine. It's okay. I know they're good. It's fine.
They are good nicknames.
I appreciate that. History Eraser Button says, Tabitha, what up, stranger? I know. Say hi to Nomi and Moss. I don't see them streaming. I know. You greasy antennae. Yeah, that's exactly what my mom told me they look like. Cockroach antennae. Thanks, Mom. Germans, what are you gonna do, you know? But hello, Moss. My Missouri brother says grape. I was punk. We hated the
Hello,
emo
grape.
kids. We wore boots.
Yeah, combat boots.
I
was like, go ahead.
No, I had combat boots that had leopard print tongues. I was trying to be cool because that was during the era of the 2000s when Y2K was going to take over and everybody was wearing metallic. I had a silver jacket that I thought I was so cool in. I wore it all the time. It didn't matter if it was freaking hot outside. I wore that silver trench coat jacket like a boss. And don't forget the metallic lip gloss too. Yes, with pink and coral swirl.
As far as punks versus emo, like punk was back in the day, at least not now, but back in the day, punk was all very much like fight the power. I was not worried about the power.
You didn't even know what the power was.
I didn't. I was all worried about my fragile little heart and how all the sadness and stuff.
Oh, yes, the sadness. Yes, Mossy Doodle. Yes.
I can relate because, emo music.
Yeah.
Ohio is for lovers.
Okay, Moss, don't trust anything Nomi says. I feel like she's the poser since she brought up shoes that look like they're made from a third world country. So,
Yeah. No
you and I have never seen these people exist.
Poser.
I feel like they're lizard people. She sounds like a poser.
You guys are just haters that you guys were not in the trend before. Yeah. You guys were just not in the
I'm
trend.
glad I never was. Those are shoes I would never wear. I still would never wear. I don't care that they were popular just a couple of years ago with the frat folk. It's funny how that comes back around. No.
I was stretching it with my dad with the hair as it is. If I showed up in those shoes,
you would be the second, first favorite, least son, whatever.
He'd be like, "Oh, at least you gotta tie those."
Yeah. Hey, I can't an old Renaissance boomer. 2000s me might have hung out with 2000s Tabitha. Tabitha sounded like you were a nerd. I wasn't actually a nerd growing up. I don't know if I was so I was the Mary-Kate and Ashley wannabe girl. I don't know what that would be considered besides just an Olsen twin wannabe. We weren't really allowed to do a lot of fads in our household. My parents hated them. But, because they were still good parents, they would let us have some things from time to time. Joshua, my brother, was definitely the nerd of the family. I didn't get on board with that stuff until I was older. But, no. I was like a tomboy that sometimes wanted to be girly. But I definitely wasn't like punk or whatever. I don't know. I think I was just basic white girl. I never was allowed to find and experiment with my true identity. I did love bucket hats. I don't know. I think I was just a mixture of stuff. I don't think I ever wanted to be punk. I don't, honestly, growing up outside of school, I don't know what a lot of the trends or what the titles were for different genres of music or clothing and all this kind of stuff. All I could tell you was my silver jacket, my black bucket hat. That's where I felt the coolest. Oh, and my cockroach antennae. I still love my cockroach look. I just don't. Who hit me? I just don't grease them down.
You were taking too long.
Wow.
Was there anybody else who was able to hit you other than Nomi?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the camera. I'm not going to get tempted into sparring with the mod bot tonight. What? Oh. Hey, Elijah, I see you. I like loafers. You see, if I type that in chat, I get deleted. All right, let's try this again, even though Nomi bonked me out the way.
Bonk.
I need a good pair of loafers.
Some Sperry's will do that for you.
Candle says, I have no idea what I walked in on. You never do when it's a stream with Nomi and Mossy Doodle. Grape says, remember if a if a girl acts like a tomboy nowadays, that means they are closeted lesbian? Is that true?
Well, usually it means that they were a man who was born without a you-know-what. At least that's the current standard.
Oh, is that the current standard? Okay, because when I was growing up, it just meant girls that like to climb trees and play with rocks, you know?
Yeah, that's not what it means anymore. That's not what it means anymore.
Okay, well.
Homeschooled.
You know what's weird? I was already in a rather indecent mood earlier, and then I got home and I was like, huh, this looks interesting, and it's a documentary about the collapsing birth rate, and
what a fascinating choice.
I was like, well, you know what? I will say it is well made, and it is informative. but it's not at all happy.
Well, of
By
course it isn't. We're having fewer babies, and babies make people happy.
Babies make me happy. I went to a pumpkin patch with a couple of friends of mine and their 2 kids, and I was like, this is so adorable, and I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah. Yeah. Careful. You got to blow dust off your uterus, Moss. Otherwise, you know.
Yeah, I know. There ain't nothing in there right now.
What?
Because
No,
they
it
look like
does
me.
What does not mean? Oh, I can't get modded. Okay. Hey, Alasia, how are you? Today it means you're sure you're not a boy? Yeah. Why do I hear Renaissance? Not Renaissance. Wait, what is happening? I hear Fortnite
read?
music.
Oh, your update is finished then.
No, Raider has gifted. So my alerts are the traditional Fortnite music when somebody gives a sub. Raider! I'm like, why do I thought one of you guys were booting up your Fortnite. I'm like, that wouldn't make any sense. I don't understand. Raider, thank you, comes in like a fool and drops a whole bunch of the gifting. Where's Raider's emote? Guys, it's been so long. It's been way.
I'm not live right now.
Thank you. I'm gonna drop the because. Because.
How?
I'm gonna make that into a shirt, by the way. We're gonna put it up in the dreaming tab of the store. Because, but we're gonna make it really cool looking, you know, because that's it's exactly gonna spell B''CAWZ, because that's how we do around here. Because. Yeah. No, the decline in the birth rate is... Well, Nomi and I were not sort of kind of talking about that today, where she mentioned that Chick-fil-A has been putting the baby stoppers in food.
What?
But designed for chickens.
But designed for chickens.
Like hormones?
No,
So,
contraceptives.
I
What?
read a report. Yeah, I read a report, and I've been trying to look for it. That Chick-fil-A is using meat from chickens that have been injected with chicken contraceptives.
And you can't tell me that doesn't affect us in some fashion.
Yeah.
Contraceptives? Why would they why would they give chickens contraceptives?
I know,
That makes no sense.
isn't the point to produce more chickens? Like, eat more
Yeah.
chicken, you know?
To make their breasts bigger.
Well, you'd think that'd be right for more little baby chicks, and roosters have got to be going crazy.
Well, plus the humans, too. I mean, don't we want them bigger?
Well, I mean,
Bigger
think
the better.
about it.
We want more.
Think about it, because like women who are on birth control,
Yes.
we're gonna talk about it, guys.
Brace
Boobies.
yourself, internet.
We're gonna talk about it. This is real talk.
The
Chickens.
boobies get bigger.
Sometimes.
Like in humans. The
Sometimes.
girlies.
One of the side effects is possible enlargement.
So yeah. So it really is depending on like how the contraceptive is designed for.
Huh.
But nevertheless,
Interesting.
you can't tell me that that's good for the humans.
No, it's no good for humans.
So it kind of leads me to think, like, no wonder it's like people are choosing to have fewer children. That's an obvious. But sometimes I wonder if people just don't realize that they're not actually physiologically being allowed almost because of all the chemicals that we put in our body.
Yeah.
Because it has been coming out too that when it comes to human birth control, that you might not know the side effects until the 3rd generation, and that it actually, when a mother takes those before having babies, obviously, but when it's already been in her system for a while, it can actually affect the reproductive system of both the male and the female offspring to the 3rd generation.
Really?
There were never any long-term studies done on birth control in women.
Wow. I didn't realize
Stick that in your hat and call it Yankee Doodle Dandy. Weird side effect of my pregnancy, says Alasia. I lost my desire to eat Chick-fil-A pretty much entirely. Probably not a bad thing. Yeah, I'm so relieved that I never took that poison. Yeah, you know, because they try to get girls on that stuff when they're like 13 years old, not necessarily as a precautionary tale there, but because they tell you that it's better for your acne and other things that are happening in the female body, but it actually can mess you up significantly more, and it is proven that it does mess you up more because you also become more reliant on it. So if you try to stop it, it can really mess up your system. I don't want to say it's like a puberty blocker, but it does mess up your system significantly if you're on it for a long time.
Man, I have a coworker who's like, and I know she doesn't watch this, so I'm totally safe. I have a coworker who was like, oh yeah, my daughter, who at this point is like, she's in her mid-teens, and she's like, oh yeah, she needs it. Just levels her out, just makes her, because if she's not on it, she's just wild. She's moody. She's crazy. She hits her brother, and I'm like, that seems normal.
Well, there's
To me.
other thing too. It's like, well, okay, so misbehavior is not acceptable just because your hormones are running rampant. Like you should not be allowed to hit your sibling just because you're having hormone problems. That's a bigger problem.
Yeah, but you also shouldn't be put on drugs just because you're hitting your God, the space station.
Raider says this is a sore subject. It is. There's a lot to be said. You know, the pros, the cons. Obviously we are definitely not, professionals. But upon doing research, and I think especially as females here, Nomi and I probably have had quite a bit of research and/or conversations about such things with real women. And all this kind of stuff. So we might be a little more aware of things than some of the other demographic of the chat. But studies have been showing that it's and just again, it's one of those things too. Like if you know somebody that's having significant issues like that, there are natural remedies to help with certain things. But that is also, if I'm not mistaken, that was also one of the links too. Was that you can mess your body up worse in trying to take harsh chemicals in order to control it, right? Because you're not actually fixing the problem, you're medicating the problem. And so once you medicate it, if you try to come off of it, that's again where you get really, really messed up. It's a sad situation. Teenagers have been psychopaths since the dawn of time, says History Eraser Button. I was a freaking psycho, but my parents made it clear, behave or consequences. Exactly. You had to learn to control yourself. Even as women, I will say we have a slight, we do have a significant disadvantage because sometimes those changes, those fluctuations come without warning. And you'll have to stop and think to yourself, why am I being such a douchebag? And you then either have to really, really try to control, like if you're in a professional atmosphere and you can't go home, then you have to really learn to control yourself. But if you're in other capacities, it's like, okay, I need to walk away from people. I need to go sit in my room and cry. I need to go take a hot shower, whatever the case might be. You learn how to deal with the problem. You can't just medicate it all the time. And sometimes if there's a worse situation, there could be underlying factors as well. You might not be getting enough nutrition. It's supposed to be, that's the thing. We begin getting told like the natural process of life is somehow a problem. And so it is, our bodies should be able to handle these kinds of situations, females, obviously. It's the same thing with like pregnancy. It's like, why is it that it seems like increasingly more problems are arising when this is supposed to be the natural order of life? And a lot of times it does have to do with the stuff that not even what you've been ingesting. You could be like, I eat healthy. But what did the third generation back, what was their life experience like?
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because I had dinner with Dr. Lily yesterday.
Dr. Lily!
We talked about it. She's like, when was the last time we hung out? It was like literally a year ago. She's like, oh
wow.
My gosh. Yeah, it'd been a whole year. Anyway, but what you were talking about, because, Dr. Lily gave me some Dr. Lily advice. And she says, people who are doing keto, you have to watch out. Like, yes, you can lose a lot of weight eating meat, but you have to make sure where your meat is sourced from because it can have like a lot of antibiotics in it, a lot of injected stuff where you don't know, like it can mess up your body severely. Yeah.
Chemicals. I've never got mad or crazy before my time. I just get super sad. Exactly. It's different for everybody. Exactly. And so it's like if you know that you're going to be easily a Debbie Downer and you're not even actually sad, it's just the fluctuation of your hormones. This is why I've come to agree with this one lady I saw on Instagram, and honestly, I should just agree with the Bible. God had the perfect design, and if it wasn't for these danged feminists, women would just be living it up, right? When that time comes, you know, in the Bible, the women were allowed to go outside of the camp, because obviously they, at that time frame when the laws were being given, they didn't have towns, because at that time the children of Israel were nomadic. God ordained it that women needed to be separated from everybody and just hang out and chillax for a week. Did you?
I'm literally living in hell right now.
Like, that literally was God's design. And the feminists were like, nope, we want to be miserable while we work alongside men.
I want to work in a cubicle.
Right, exactly. When literally we could have a spa day or a spa week every month.
Moss, go work for us. Me and Tabitha are gonna go do a spa week right now.
I don't need a spa. Sorry. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all. But no, it's crazy. It's crazy. God thinks of everything, and humans just mess it up. He had everything planned.
Stupid sin.
We think we know better.
We think we know better. Women had to ruin it for all women. And you know what? And I can't let the men off the hook. The men didn't even stand up. The men could have taken the high road and said, nah, baby, I need you. I need you to go to the spa for a week.
That's like the ultimate goal to have in my life right now. No, baby, it's okay. Here's some monies. Go get
take care
yourself
of
a
yourself.
pedicure and a manicure. Oh, thanks, honey. Yeah.
But
And then I come home and be like, look at the cute little toesies. I got a little ribbon on them.
But did the men stand up? No. Nah, sir. So once again, it's men's fault.
Oh, come on. Can't win. We lose if we tell you to do something. We lose if we don't tell you to do something.
No.
Oh, it's so good, though. Women. Men and women, we are funny creatures. I bet God just sometimes sits back and just laughs. Like, he gets some popcorn and he's like, look what these fools are about to do. Oh, shoot. Just like what I did right there.
He's like thinking their plan is better than mine. Ha.
Well, it does say that God laughs, you know.
Dang it.
God laughs, so. Although usually it's at, oh, crap. I feel like that was in my face. Speaking of nutrition, I better go feed my cats myself. Nice seeing you. Good night, golfers. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me. You guys are appreciated, even though we talk about the real stuff here. I hope you guys are okay with that. We try to keep it discreet because, you know? Some things just need to be discreet.
Oh, Tabitha, by the way, I just hit my, I'm actually hungry. I need to eat now.
Okay, you mean like yesterday?
I mean, I did eat yesterday, but it's been a whole 24 hours since.
Because you
Why?
She accidentally fasted. I don't know how you do that, but she
You accidentally fast.
Well, what?
Yeah.
Today...
See, you don't accidentally fast. Fasting is an intentional mood. She just forgot to eat.
No, so today I was just like, oh, I have this food, but I actually am not super hungry now. I think I can wait until, I can wait. And then later on happened, and I'm like, I looked at the time, I was like, it's been legitimately 24 hours since I've last eaten.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Wiley Dave celebrates their subscription for 18 months. That was a really loud thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Guys are awesome. It also says foolishness of God is greater than the wisdom. This is true too. Hey, nobody asked me, says ORB, so y'all on your own on that one. I disagree. We got to figure out a way to turn it back around because you guys, like I said, there should have been a man somewhere that said, you know what we should do? We should let the women out and go do their thing.
Yeah.
So you're saying we need to not let you do anything is basically what I'm hearing.
I heard a man, so it's legit. I heard a man say that due to everything that goes on in a female body, because it is very complicated. Look, I'm not saying it from a feminist standpoint. It's the science, okay? But due to everything that goes on in there, women absolutely are supposed to do nothing for one day a month. And it would be beneficial for women if they did, but no, we gotta be like, I can do anything a man can do. No, you can't, Karen. You can't. You can't.
I like this conversation. Let's keep going.
Sorry, Moss.
Wait, is this like, are you being serious or are you being sarcastic? Like you want to change the subject?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that we need to change the subject.
You know, all right, we can change the subject, but I will throw this out one more time for the people in the back because it always befuddles me how gross men are, right? And how much they love war and cutting people's heads off, and the more blood, the better. But man, when it comes to pregnancy and other stuff for women, they're just like, dear God, put her outside the camp. I've never understood. Dudes literally out here fainting because their wife are giving birth, and it's like, okay.
Well, here, I'll tell you the secret behind that, Tabitha.
Yeah,
So,
tell me the secret.
warfare, blood, guts, battle. That all speaks of conquest. A man's need to conquer.
Okay.
During a pregnancy, the conquering happened 9 months before. That's how that works.
Wow, what a misogynist thing to say.
Am I wrong though?
Yes, because it's a team effort. There's no conquering.
I'm not saying it's not a team effort, but
You don't conquer separately in a team.
well, I mean, come on, fellas, you know what I'm talking about here. You know what I'm talking about.
No, okay. Yeah, but okay, I mean, I find that a very interesting train of thought. I'm not saying you're wrong, of course, because you think differently than I do, as you should, because you're a man. But I mean, it's just like, that's an interesting idea that because it doesn't benefit you, this is going to sound really mean. I don't mean it that way. No emotions to it. But it's like, if it doesn't benefit you, then it doesn't mean anything, or it's not something willing to endure.
No, I don't think that's necessarily it. I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with benefit. Like, going to war doesn't benefit a man necessarily.
Well, you just said it's all about the conquering, though. And so if it doesn't...
Well, yeah, but the conquering in itself is a challenge which we as men can address firsthand, right?
Okay.
But think about this. How many times have you heard about a man in the room with his wife just like feeling helpless because he can't do anything? He's sitting there watching his wife struggle, and you know, he's not able to help her, he's not able to ease her pain, he's not able to do anything.
Okay, so he just kind of feels useless being... Okay.
Yeah. And so there is a and I'll admit I was being a bit facetious when I said the conquering happened 9 months before, but in essence, I mean, that's kind of like, you know, there is a challenge to that kind of thing for a man because women are the gatekeepers of children and families and things like that to a certain degree. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so the creation of the family happens very early on for a man.
Okay. All right.
Am I making sense, or am I just digging myself into a hole?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. I guess it's just always fascinated me. And again, I know not all guys are the same, but like as a stereotype for a lot of guys, you know, it's again the blood, guts, and the gore. But man, you talk to them about, again, the female body experience, whatever it might be, and it's like they just die inside.
No.
And so it's I find that to be very fascinating, maybe a little irritating, but I find that to be more fascinating than anything, because it's like, yeah, what is the, I don't want to say the glitch because that sounds disrespectful to a man, but that's, I'll just use that word. But like what is the glitch behind that? Like, what is the differentiation between the two? But I guess you're saying it's like the state of mind where it's the conquering. I'm beneficial. I'm here for something that has to do with me. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, but like men are, well, they do say like that a lot of times, like even when it comes to conversation, like women have two types of conversations. Men typically have one, and it's usually solution based. Whereas women have solution-based conversations, and then they just have venting conversations where they don't want the answer to their problem. They just need to express and talk out their problems. And most guys, from what I understand, sometimes they have to, but for the most part, they're solution based. So I guess that's always kind of the sitch right there. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Look, Moss, I'm so glad you're here to enlighten us and the chat, of course. The last time we let woman make a decision, she fed us an apple. I don't think that's how that story goes, but whatever keeps you up at night.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure God blamed Adam for that whole debacle.
Well, yeah, he held him responsible. I do find that fascinating. You know, something about that story that actually crushes my heart is that you had these people living in a perfect world that we could not even comprehend what that's like. Not even close, right? How were their lives after that? Has anybody ever sat down and thought about if Adam and Eve ever felt happiness ever again after that situation? Because the weight of guilt that comes from every person doing wrong thereafter. And Adam lived for hundreds of years and got to see his legacy be basically one of taint. Now, there were good people that came from his legacy. Don't, get me wrong. There's Abel and stuff like that. But, you can't tell me that when Cain did his dastardly deed, that his parents didn't sit down at one point and think, this is my fault. And the closeness with God became work, if you will. Like, sometimes you have to discipline yourself to stay close to God because life gets in the way, or sometimes we're selfish, we're tired, or we don't think it's that important. And so I just sometimes wonder if Adam and Eve ever experienced happiness after the fall, because how could you possibly experience any kind of joy? Maybe at the birth of their children, because it was wonderment and excitement. I'm sure it was freaky the first time, though. But nevertheless...
What is this? What's happening?
What is... Yeah, dear God, I can only imagine the mental capacity, the mental state. But yeah, every bad thing that ever happened, all the hard work that went into existing is because of these two people. And what a I don't know, what a tragic life, I think.
I guess I never really thought about that. That's really interesting to think about. Like, to live with that guilt for, several hundred years. Of course, we don't know how long they were in the garden,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but imagine, like, even if you spent a week, you spent, like, a week in the garden. And you can't tell me it wasn't longer than a week just because of the fact that Adam was so busy naming all the animals, That's a lot of animals. But still, whether it was a week or 50 years, knowing what used to be, knowing what was good, what was amazing, what was easy, and then now you have people killing each other and lying and being deceptive and keeping secrets and... What a horrible life.
Oh, come on.
What, it's not that bad?
Dag nabbit, you golf ball.
Hey, Retro Collective, I thought Adam lived over 900 years. I wanted to say 6 or something, but I think you're right, Retro. I think it was near 1,000 years that Adam walked the earth, and that's a long time to see your whole family turn into a bunch of douchebags. Larry Knight celebrates her subscription for 8 months. Larry, tab of the time. Well, okay, let me offer a little insight as a married gal, Tabitha. Men not liking female stuff, yes. Your husband, totally different response. Now they want to know and to help. Do they? Fascinating. Oh, well, I mean, that would also make sense, too, just because, again, unlike what Moss was saying, it's supposed to be about teamwork. So, I could see where you do learn to put yourself aside and obviously your own interests and things like that for the sake of the other person. I'm sure it doesn't come necessarily natural. It probably is something that has to be learned, but that's nice. It's beautiful. Moss, during the women's labor, aren't you supposed to yell roll tide?
Roll tide!
Well, nobody's redeemed. He's not streaming, so, Well, I think too many men were like, what are you bugging me for? I did my duty 9 months ago. See, I got important things to do. Yeah, and that's a terrible, terrible mindset. Terrible, terrible mindset. Tabitha, women should do nothing for a day. Me knowing talking is something, and no woman can go 2 minutes without doing it. I guess I meant like strenuous physical labor. But you get it. Yeah. Well, they also say that's how women do stress relief is chit-chatting. So, sorry guys. Like, don't blame us. This is how God made us. I get mad at God all the time for the differences between men and women. Trust me. He knows how I feel. I'm like, why does it have to be so hard? I think they would have a better understanding of the moment of happiness that they are heavenly. Wait, hang on, Fantastic. I think they would have a better understanding of the moments of happiness that are heavenly that we take for granted. It's possible, but I'm just saying, to whom much is given, much is required, right? And again, it's the idea that they had utter perfection. They knew what it once was like. And it doesn't take long for humans to become horrible, deplorable people. So, Adam am I wrong in saying was he around when Noah was alive? Not when the ark was being built per se, but wasn't he around when Noah was alive? And if that is the case, and then the Bible says that the end times of the world will be like the end times of Noah, then Adam got to see his greatest grandchildren become the most horrible people in existence.
Can you get out of the way, Tabitha, please? Thank
Hey,
you.
I'm trying to make a point here. I just double checked. Adam did indeed live for 930 years. There you go.
Dang it.
I was just making a dumb joke. I get you. I can't. No, it's true. It's true. Look, I will confess it. Like, women like to talk because that's how we bond, and it's how we do stress relief. It's how we get to know people and form long-term friendships. It's exhausting for women not to talk as much as it's exhausting for men to talk. So blame God on that one. You gotta blame God on that one.
That's why men and women are such good partners.
Yeah.
One person takes up all the time talking, the other one just sits there and pretends to listen.
Which is terrible, but it does happen. It does. Women don't like they don't. A lot of women don't like wasting their time with one-sided conversations. And men don't like to waste their time listening to conversations that don't impress them or benefit them. And so it's, again, I think kind of like what Elijah was saying. It's like you kind of find your happy medium, especially if you have a bond with that person. Like, I think we have enough of a friendship that if I needed to talk to you about something stupid, like we've been this entire time, that you are gracious enough to listen. But I'm pretty sure at some point, like you were even saying, like, kind of want to change the subject. Yeah.
Oh, no. I didn't want to change the subject. But I will say this. And I'm gonna push back on you just a little bit. Okay?
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So it's not that we as men don't want to listen.
Okay.
It's that how many times can we have the conversation about Brenda stealing your lunch burrito before you do something about it?
I feel like this was a Nomi conversation at one point.
It may have been.
Okay. Again, so because you guys are solution-based, whereas women tend to talk about the problem rather than do the problem. Yeah. They want to...
We think about it.
Yeah.
It occupies our thought process of like, why would Brenda do that?
Yeah.
How can I approach Brenda? Be like, don't eat my burrito.
Because they say that for the most part, and I agree with this, that most women, minus Nomi, are non-confrontational, right? They try to find ways to avoid confrontation. And so the reason, sometimes, this is again goes to the two different conversations that women tend to have, where one is solution-based, where they're asking their man for advice. And then there's other times where they're, like you said, they're going in circles talking about Brenda and the stinking lunch burrito. And it's more of like they are kind of figuring out, why did Brenda do this? Is Brenda having a bad day? Is Brenda getting a divorce and needs somebody to talk to? Or is she really a malicious, not so nice person? And blah, blah, blah. And I understand. It gets annoying for sure. Because I mean, I've been with women that there's also a balance there too. In the Bible, I love that there are many portions in the Bible that are gender neutral. And there is a verse in the Bible that says, in the multitude of words, there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. And so that's just good advice and a long, fancy way of saying, people who talk too much are prone to sinning. And so if you talk less, you're a wise person. So also, women have to learn
Wait, hold on. Before keep talking, don't start the game. I'm actually gonna get something to snack on.
No. What, you want to continue on with
That's
this? Retro Collective!
Yes, because Brenda, like, I
She
forgot
wants to
that
know
I left
more
my
about
burrito at work.
She actually left her burrito in the fridge for once, and you just remembered.
Yeah, I was like, burrito, Brenda. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go get it.
Moss apparently brought up an old wound that Nomi needs to talk through. Oh, Retro Collective has gifted 5 subscriptions to the community. Oh my gosh, they have this is so funny. Retro, it says here that you've gifted 199 subscriptions to the channel. Shout out to the 199. That's amazing. Number one, thank you for the support. And that's so funny that it's specifically 199. I should take a picture of that.
I love that.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. The 199. You know what? I know that sometimes the women and the men conversations can be taboo, but I think that is something that is significantly missing in our culture, our society, because all I see online are men hating women and women hating men. And it's just this constant back and forth and totally forgetting the fact that we are supposed to work, like you were saying, Moss, like as a team. We're supposed to complement one another. And if we don't talk about things, you know, obviously there's a time and a place, but if we don't talk about things to understand one another, we'll never learn and we'll just continue hating each other, you know? Like just what you were explaining about men conquering and things like that. I mean, obviously you need to be a willing participant in the learning process. Like I can't just have Moss talk about something and I just discredit him and don't believe him right away just because I don't agree with him. Like that's not a healthy conversation to have. I mean, you have to be willing to be wrong to learn something.
I agree, and I admit that I will be 100% wrong on pretty much everything having to do with women. So
surely
I'm
not.
fine. I'm fine with that.
I don't think so. I think Moss is way more intelligent than he lets people think. Moss, my husband, would be all over that topic if he were here. Which one, the conquering or women talking? Or we've covered a lot of the races. Let's see. Hey, Brett, I see you over there. It was more at the expense of my mom and grandma. If they run out of stuff to say, they just start repeating themselves. It is true. Look, and also, I think that also is kind of a cultural thing, too. Moss, have you experienced women in the South? Or even men?
Well, plenty of women in the Midwest are the exact same way.
Ah.
So, I mean, it's like, if there is ever any portion of silence or a gap in any conversation, it must be filled with what they're thinking.
Yes, yes. And also, what happened in the past 30 years ago, and with people that you will learn what their names are and have no idea who they are and why they belong to the story. At least that's my experience with Southern people, is that they will just tell me all the details about something. And I remember going to church, a brand new church one time, and this lady, I'd known her for a while, but not that well. And she was just sitting there and talking to me, and she was like, and I was talking to Jonathan, and you know, he's all about whatever, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I have no idea who Jonathan is.
Okay,
why is she talking to me?
Who's Jonathan?
Exactly. And that's the conversation that I have with Southern people all the time, is that they definitely like to dwell on the past, men and women. They like to dwell on the past. They like to keep up with the same people. They don't really enlarge their coasts very much. And they talk to you as if you know everybody that they know. That's my experience. Brenda and the burrito. Oh, okay. I got you. Let me see. Shout out to the 199. Exactly. Ugh, Brenda, I know. So fantastic right here. And I know I don't believe you mean any disrespect by this, but see, as the female, I read this sentence and it's like, it could, I don't want to say it could be improved. That sounds condescending. That's not what I'm saying, but maybe reworded so it sounds less, put downy. That's not a word. Condescending, is that right?
Ooh. Okay, I apologize because I don't have the stream up. That is a failure on my part. But what does the sentence say? I might be able to translate it for you.
I'm pretty sure I know. Let me give you my interpretation, then you give me your interpretation. Let's see if we're spot on, I think. Fantastic says, I think as a guy, we prefer deep conversations rather than the trivial. So, how I interpret this is that what you're saying is that well, I say how the female brain would interpret this is that men think their conversations are deeper and women conversations are stupid or trivial, as you're saying. When we know that men talk about trivial things too. Football, for example, your favorite teams. It's not exactly important, but it is to you. Whereas women talk about certain things that are also don't get me wrong. Women talk about trivial things, of course. But again, going back to the mindset, women talk about things that might appear trivial, but it's actually a form of bonding and what's the word? Preparing for the future. God has given women the ability to somewhat predict the future based on instinct and intuition, right? So women tend to fret about the future so that they can avoid conflict. And so they will constantly talk about things that never happened and may never happen because it's a preparation, it's a protection thing. Whereas from what I understand, men don't worry about that because men, I don't mean this disrespectfully, it's actually a compliment. Men are simple. They're like, let's just focus on the problems that are in front of us that are right there. So when I read a sentence that says, as a guy, we prefer deep conversations rather than the trivial, it could be seen as something that puts down women's conversations as unimportant. But it's more of like, it's just a different perspective. Moss, you have the floor.
Well, see, I think that, and this is my perception of what is being said here, is that he's kind of speaking in averages, right? On average, women tend to gossip more. And while I won't say that men tend to talk about much deeper subjects more often, I think that men do tend to talk about things. Oh man, it's hard for me to translate this because like I don't like sports necessarily.
Okay.
But it's more like it's like women might talk about this, that, and the other thing, the people that they know, the people that are in the office, the things that they did, the things that they were talking about, and men might be like, okay, based on the current season, who do you think's gonna be who do you think's gonna win the Heisman Trophy this year? A lot more of maybe more of an assessment type conversation. Now, I will also say, having been privy to many male conversations, we're also very stupid with some of the stuff that we joke about.
Yeah. I don't mean that again disrespectfully. More, I agree with you. Like men do enjoy very much the jokes about the bodily functions, and they really love expressing how bad something smells.
Yeah.
That is a regular. So for a woman, that seems trivial. Why would you do that?
It is.
To a man, it seems funny, right? So I think it's more of, like I said, I don't believe fantastic was being mean. It's more of like, that sentence could be translated poorly because it makes it sound like what men talk about, like women don't have deep conversations. Which they do. It's just that they might look differently. It's fascinating if you really, I know nobody's going to want to take the time, but if you really study the psychology of the women and how they converse and the nuances that go into them forming connections as a preparation to avoid conflict, it's crazy. Would you agree, Noe? Like it is pretty complicated.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot involved. It comes natural to women, of course. But the little things that we do that seem really trivial are actually most of the time done for the betterment of other people and themselves.
I would like to refer that as the complex infrastructure known as the female mind.
Yes.
I would like to think that and
you're wrong. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I had to get that out. At some point I had to say it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I probably am. But I like to think of that as like, so there's an aspect of emotional intelligence, and I'm not a huge fan of the term emotional intelligence because I think it's often misused.
Okay.
Because people say that men have a lack of emotional intelligence, and I think that men typically find the term or maybe not the term, but the idea of emotional intelligence trivial.
Okay.
Because in what sense? The way a man would look at it is, why should I care how this person feels?
Yes.
This is the
Yes.
fact of the matter, and how this person feels is irrelevant. Whereas women tend to be a lot more empathetic about
Yes.
most, if not all, situations, and will take those things into account.
Yes, it's true. No, you're right. You're right. And again, everybody, you can blame God for that one. Okay, women do care a lot more about people's feelings because women themselves care about their own feelings, and so I would say, what do you think, Nobi? Maybe in different ways, but do most women try to treat people the way that they would want to be treated emotionally?
Yes. Oh my
And
gosh.
because men, like Moss was saying, men don't really tap into that because I guess it's of no value because that's not how their brains are wired. That's just not something that's on their radar. I guess.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
not on their radar.
Because it's not, I wouldn't say on their radar. It's not like a thought that would come to them naturally. Like they have to be guided or told, this is what you need to pay attention to.
And again, speaking in averages, like Maul said, not every man. I know several men that are a little bit more in tune with the emotional aspect of where am I at? I'm lost. Of things. They are concerned with how people feel because they know what like if you've ever been bullied, I would say, you know what that feels like. So even a man can I don't want him to feel small. I know what that feels like. I'm stuck in the grass. Where am I?
You are not even on the course. I don't even know where you are.
Oh, wow. That hurts 6 ways to Sundays. Johnny's always said that women are more communal in their emotions, which is a hilarious observation because we can be so needlessly cruel to each other. This is true. And women speak an unspoken language, for sure. I've seen this reel, so funny. It was these two ladies, and for the sake of the reel, I'll mention their race just because they were these black ladies. And it was like a talk show. And this one woman's like, girl, I've been sleeping with this guy and I just don't know. I feel like he would be better than my boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, he's not always around. And the one host just she just sits there and looks at her. Body language changes and she's like, girl. And the other lady, her body language changes and she's like, oh, girl. And they just keep saying girl, but in different cadence, with different tones, thank you. Inflection.
Different deliverances.
Thank you. And it's fun. All the women in the conversation are laughing because we understood exactly. And then they would have subtitles underneath of it to let you know what they were saying. And it's funny because all of the women knew exactly what each woman was saying with just that word. With the different inflections, with the body language. Girl. Yeah. Girl. Oh, men and women. So funny. We are. But I love men. Men are great. I hope everybody understands that. I believe everybody has a place in this world and that men and women have to figure out how to navigate life together. And it's hard sometimes. And over time, people became more likely to just give up than to try and talk, work together, or compromise. Marriage takes patience, understanding, forgiveness, and you have to work at it, says Renaissance Boomer. My grandparents made it to 75 years before Grandpa passed. My parents made it just past 60 years before Dad. That's beautiful. Yeah, people just don't work. Is Maria not here to be a ringer? We don't talk about Maria. We're mad at Maria. Liar that she is. She told me she's bad.
Yeah.
She told me she's bad at this game. Rough Night, hi. It's very simple. Women are more comfortable communicating to strengthen. Oh, I think Rough Night's got it. Hang on. Women are more comfortable communicating to strengthen bonds. Men are more comfortable communicating to solve problems. Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, well put. Well put.
Snaps for Rough Night. Thank you.
And that's why I like Rough Night. I only met him once at MegaCon, but he was so knowledgeable and full of wisdom.
Rough Night, have we met? I apologize. There was a lot of people at MegaCon.
We had dinner with him.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of people at MegaCon, and I get overwhelmed. And you introduce.
And this was after I fallen down the stairs that you pushed me down.
Well, get ready because it's around the corner. We're gonna bruise the other knee. I am so sorry, Rough Night. I'm telling you guys, if you could see my brain and the blur that it is during MegaCon, you would weep for me. I feel
her brain is spaghetti, basically.
I kind of fell into the arms of Caro or Caro. Caro. I think it's Caro. That's how you pronounce her
Hold
name.
on.
Carol Brown?
Yes, thank you. I always wanted to say.
She's a cool person.
Yeah, I like her a lot because she nurtured me back to health after MegaCon. She's like, come here, come stand here. There's nothing wrong with either mindset. You just have to be aware of the differences. Exactly. That's the thing. We have to be willing to accept that men are different. Men have to accept that women are different and that we need to work to get along. I would say men do care. They just aren't good at showing it. This is true too. Again, we were speaking in averages, as Moss so eloquently put it, that not everybody's different. Like I said, there are some men that are really in tune with their feelings. There are some men that are not. It also depends on your upbringing. I think men that are raised by women, I say raised by women, are surrounded by more women tend to be more nuanced in these things because they're surrounded by that influence, you know? Also, Moss and I have deeply respectful conversations, says Fantastic Sarcastic. I would never bully Moss and make him feel small. Is that true,
Good Lord,
Moss?
fantastic.
I was gonna say something.
What was Nomi gonna say?
As the band, my favorite band, Amberlin, adequately so
Oh,
said in their
gosh.
lyrics in their song called Autobahn.
I am stuck.
Boys speak in rhythm and girls speak in code. So it's a different language.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
But I will ask questions. So as it pertains to men being quote unquote emotionally intelligent, when was the last time you had heard on a societal level people caring about how men actually felt?
All the time.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, well, maybe I'm not in the same circles you guys are because that is not my perception of how it goes.
So the frustrating thing, I think it depends on your algorithm, number one.
You're probably right on that, yeah.
For sure. For sure. It depends on the algorithm. But the other thing is, too, what's frustrating is that you have a group of men that are trying to bring awareness to mental health issues for men specifically. And then you have the other group of men that are like, just don't cry about it and be a man. So it's kind of hard for, I would say, maybe for women to know exactly what side of the fence to fall on because women want a manly man, but like men complain that women want them to cry all the time. We do not want you to cry all the time. Please, dear God, don't cry all the time. It's more of like moments that really hit, like they say at the birth of your child, when you're walking down the aisle, when a loved one passes away, or when you're having a super great bonding moment. Like, there's something special about seeing a man be that vulnerable because they never are. I say they never are, but you know what I mean? Again, speaking in averages, they never are. And so it's almost like it tells the woman that you trust them. It's not that we want to see you cry per se. It's more of like it's a sign of I trust you with my feelings.
It's like a sacred bond. It's
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, this man trusts me to be this vulnerable
Yeah.
and I'm going to be his protector, his guider.
Yes.
Like I'm going to fight for that because not a lot of women will be privileged to have that,
Yeah.
you know.
Like you
It's
trusted
not
me
like-
with your heart.
Yeah, it's not romance per se, but it's
No.
an intimate moment.
And see, women see that as a bond, and they see that as something very special and something to be respected. Because again, it's not, we don't look at it like, yo, you shared your feelings. It was more of like, you were willing to let down your guard with me. And that's very special and sacred to women.
It is.
So we definitely do not want our men crying all the time. If you decide to cry from time to time, please do, because there's nothing wrong with it. But women don't want men crying all the time.
Fair warning to all the ladies out there, every time Boromir dies, I cry, so...
Hey, I do too.
that's
I'm
fair.
right there with you. My man, Sean
Sean
Bean.
Penn. Yeah, oh,
Sean
Penn.
Bean.
Sean Penn, close.
Wow, now I'm gonna cry for a whole nother reason. Wow.
Yeah,
The
sorry,
disrespect
sorry.
is so real in the chat. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Freddie, hey, what did I
Yogi!
walk into?
What? What, Moss? What?
I was gonna say, we need to have a watch party so that you can properly watch
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings.
Okay, but you can't just watch Lord of the Rings. It has to be the right TV screen with the right settings. Like, you can't watch Lord of the Rings with bad contrast.
That's true.
Yeah. And you can't have that, like, filter on that HD crappy filter on there that makes every pore visible. You gotta watch this with the
Isn't
2000
it on?
grain.
Isn't the trilogy on HBO right now?
I don't know. I don't have HBO. My wife and I have been together for 10 years, married for 8. We have never had an argument. Larry, tell us your secrets. Communication is key. I understand that communication is key, but never enough.
Well, so what's the difference in that case? I am curious. Now, keep in mind, I'm not married, so I'm very ignorant on this aspect.
Right.
Like, what's the difference in, as it pertains to the context of that comment? What is the difference between an argument and a disagreement? Because some people would consider a disagreement an argument, and some people won't.
That's true. You know, I also heard somebody say that we tend to put a negative spin on confrontation, that we don't need to be afraid of confrontation because it doesn't always have to end badly or be a yelling match between people. Confrontation means that you are confronting something with a person and you want to get clear on it. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's like you're accusing somebody of something. It just could be like, hey, I don't understand this. You said this, even though you also said this, and you confront them about it.
And I was really confused what you meant by that.
Yeah, Nomi. I've confronted Nomi on many things. Does she listen? No. We argue all the time. Good thing we're not married. We had fries together? Oh, rough night. I am so sorry. The sacred bond between friends and fries at MegaCon. I don't even remember being at Jimmy Buffett's during MegaCon. Wait.
Dude, we were there. We were literally
was
there.
That when we were?
Me.
Wait, was that when Epic Mike was there?
Yes.
Oh, rough night.
No.
Now I remember the time and the place. I feel like a fool.
You are.
I am.
Like we literally had like food with him.
Women also take that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was gonna say like I literally had just fallen down, and then I just met them. I was like, hey guys, sorry,
that was 2 years ago. I'm a different person now. Fantastic says women also take that trust and use it as a weapon later. Also generalization. This is true too. Women use it as a defense mechanism. Where it's like, okay, yeah, for sure. Like if you know somebody in those kind of sacred bonds, then
wait a minute. Oh, did I just knock you into the hole?
You did. Thank you, Moss. After my long-winded speech, I was going to give you full credit for that.
I can't even get up there.
I know. I was having a rough time, and you just did. We keep God at the center of our... Wait, Moss, here's the relationship magic right here. Larry says, we keep God at the center of our relationship, and we listen to each other. If one of us does not like something the other has done. Very, very healthy, very nice.
I love that. I'm going to bring that into my marriage.
Yeah.
That's honestly like, you know, not to air out my parents' dirty laundry or anything like that. But
no, we would never.
I mean, but that's exactly. I mean, that's their thing. You know, that's how they've lasted so long. They've been married for oh my god,
forever.
37 years. 37 years.
Just as old as all of us.
I'm not 37. But anyway.
Saying I'm not 37.
Nomi just outed herself. You're not even 37. So
I'm not
are you on live? Are you or Nomi live on YouTube? No, I'm live on the YouTube. I am. So yeah, that's the thing. Like women definitely are dangerous foes because we do. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys. Again, take it up with God. It's not our fault. We tend to remember everything, but the reason that we remember everything is because it helps us with our friendships, our relationships, our bonds. It's a curse, okay? You think we want to remember everything? You think we want to remember where men leave everything? No, of course not. It keeps us up at night. It keeps us up at night. We don't sleep. Science has proven that women need more sleep and get less sleep. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Rough Night says, I've had disagreements but never fights. Your teammates, not opponents. You need to work together to solve life's problems. That's true. I've also heard that said. You need to look at it like you're a team. You're not fighting for me. You're not fighting for you. You're fighting for us. And that's the way you need to... I don't know where to go, by the way. I don't remember this course at all. It's been 2 weeks and I'm
never
lost.
Played this course.
I'm so lost. The secret to no arguing. The man must ask himself these 3 questions, says Mountain Mutt. Does this need to be said? Does this need to be said by me? Does this need to be said by me now? Oh. See, that even has me a little bit
I like-
confused. That's pretty good.
I like.
Does
I
this
like.
need to be
Makes
said?
sense.
Does it need to
That
be
makes
said?
sense.
Yeah.
That's true because sometimes, again, women just want to be listened to. I know it's frustrating, guys. Trust me, I've been there. Sometimes women just want to be listened to, and like actually
That's what-
listened to, like not like you're on your phone or staring at a dog going to the bathroom in the front yard or something like that. Like actually listening.
It's funny because you can have your opinions on Ben Shapiro, but there was one thing that he said at one point that kind of stuck with me, in that he basically said in his own little Ben Shapiro way. Anytime that I have a conversation with my wife and she starts talking, I ask her before the conversation even gets going, is this a solutions-based conversation or is this a venting-based conversation? And I mean, I was like, well, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
It does, because apparently dudes need a lot of instruction when it comes to communication with the female species. It's funny because women automatically know. Like, would you say, agree, know me? Like, when we've had our talks, you can pick up when I just need to be listened to versus I need a solution. Yeah, women don't even have to say it out loud. We just know. We just know.
That's when our girly senses are tingling. We're like, oh,
Yep,
it's time to vent out.
The spidey senses. Yeah. This is an interesting conversation, says Freddie. I'm just listening because I'm not married, even in a date yet, but these insights are useful. Well, that's again, it's like, I hope everybody understands, like, clearly we don't hate men. We love men. We're always...
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan.
You're not... Yeah, you know, there are some days I'm not. It just kind of depends on the man. But like, no, again, we can't learn if we don't ask these questions, if we're not willing to hear. And there is always a time and a place. Like, you know, Moss came into this conversation, you know, or into this stream not knowing what he was getting into. But Moss is highly intelligent. And he knows...
You give me far too much credit.
No, I don't think I give you enough. But like, you're willing to listen. Like, you don't just think that everything we talk about is trivial nonsense. To be fair, a lot of it is. But you engage even if it is trivial nonsense. And that is honestly one of the most important parts, that even if you... I don't know how it is for men, but at least for women, it's like, just because you don't like it or you're not interested in it, if you're willing to take the time to listen and engage, that means more than anything. I think it was Oscar...
And that means a lot to us as women.
Yeah. Oh, it means so much. Just trying to understand means more than actually understanding.
You know, you're really starting to sound like your mother right now. You're going crazy.
I'm going crazy. I was like, where are you going with
No,
this?
you're not
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
Tabitha.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But no, I mean that.
I was like, where did that come from?
You know, typical
Well,
male
why not-
response.
Typical male.
Hey, I was gonna say, Tabitha, you want to retract that comment you said that he's really intelligent?
Oh, if he only knew.
God bless! I can't get on this stupid fucking hill.
Modern relationships in a nutshell, says Icanalist. Both men and women are telling themselves, I'm this way and they need to change to accommodate me. 100%. It's all about selfishness. Me, 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 me. Freddie says, we don't hate men, said in a polite way. I don't. Some men I don't like. You know, those Andrew Tate wannabe nonsense. You get that out of here. Get that out of there. I don't have any time for that nonsense. Again, because it's not biblical. It's not scriptural. And it doesn't benefit anybody but the man. And at the end of the day, it doesn't even benefit them because they die lonely and used.
Mm-hmm.
I also think... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. I'm talking to myself.
Oh, maybe he is a little crazy. I don't know. He is sweet but a psycho. Larry says, I may not understand women, but my spirit understands my wife. Oh, what a beautiful thing to say. Look, by the way, women, we love when men say sweet things. When she was pregnant with our son, I gained 20 pounds and had morning sickness. I even felt her labor pains, but she lost 4 pounds. You know, that is funny that you say something like that, Larry. I knew this one guy. Manly dude. I throw that out there because, you know, it's just... You got to, right? But his wife had... So he was in the Navy. His wife was with child whilst he had gone away. And she had morning sickness. And he felt the morning sickness, even though he was away at sea. Isn't that crazy? It's kind of...
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool. I think that's the magic of the
wild.
world. I love that. I mean, not that he was feeling sick, but I think it's just... cool that some people are so bonded that I can't explain that. There's no science for that, and I love it. I think there needs to be a little bit of mystery in the world still. But Fantastic says, I also think it needs to be said that we cannot define all types of relationships to the same standards. 100%. A close, deep friendship looks different than a committed romantic relationship or camaraderie. 100%. There are some things that I could say to that my best friend could say to me that of 20 years that I would not be willing to accept from somebody else, even if I'm really good friends with them. Right? Because there's a different kind of friendship there. And obviously, you know, it's fascinating. All right, we're going to go into a hot topic here if you guys don't mind. We don't have to dwell on it, but in the context of what Fantastic is saying, I heard somebody talking about, you know, in the Bible where it says that women are to submit to their husbands as husbands submit to Christ, right? It's not just one and not the other, but it's both, right? And then it also says that they're both supposed to submit to each other. We always tend to put a weird standard on what that looks like, and it could look different for every relationship. There are some relationships where, like, kind of like what Moss was saying earlier, you know, the conversations are different. Like, you ever met, like, or seen, like, those like, New Jersey Italian families or something like that, and the mom and dad yell at each other all the time, and they're always, like, aggressive, but then they'll tell you that she's the love of his life, and he wouldn't trade her for anything, and it's just a different kind of relationship. And that was interesting when somebody brought that up too, about the type of submission. One type of submission looks different than it does to another. Let me put it this way, the way you submit to your husband might be different than another woman's because the relationship is different. In the same way that the man submits to different things that Christ puts in front of his path that he would not necessarily need to in another man's life. I thought that was fascinating.
That is
I couldn't have put it any better myself.
Yeah.
You know.
That's yeah, nailed it. I don't really have anything to add to that.
As you should, Moss. You can't speak on these topics. You're not allowed to. Amazing how much truth there is to men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and the rest of us made up crap come from Uranus. Yeah, it for sure. Or B, what the? I thought of the store when you said we're gonna go into a hot topic right now. Yeah, and go get those stupid shoes that Nomi thinks emos
The little
wear.
grandma flats.
Yeah, the little grandma flats, 100%.
Be right back.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were done. That's how it's done.
I'll be right back.
Moss can't get enough.
I'm gonna go grab something.
He's gonna go grab his Bible.
Go grab some Taco Bell.
He's gonna grab his Bible and be like, let me go read that passage real quickly. What's Tabitha talking about? No, but I thought that was really nice because we do tend to wrap the Bible up in this like quick, easy, one size fits all kind of thing. And there are some things that do, like the only way to salvation is through Jesus Christ. Jesus died for all men. And that, we are to submit to his authority. But, there are, Jesus is like, okay, what is it? It says in Micah 6:8, he has showed thee, O man, what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And there's like these certain times in the Bible where God calls people to do the strangest, dare I say, the dumbest things. And he doesn't call everybody to do that, but he calls some people to do that. Like Hosea, he told Hosea to marry a prostitute. God would never tell anybody else to marry a prostitute, but here we got Hosea.
I know.
And not only that, she left him and he went and got her. I think she was being sold into slavery and he bought her and took her back as his wife. Isn't that how the story went?
Yeah.
You would know better than I would, Tabitha.
Moss, don't you read the book of Hosea regularly?
Every day when I get off of work. No other books, just the book of Hosea. But that part actually just kind of
yeah, it's in the footnotes. Yeah, it's in the footnotes. Like Habakkuk. Nobody talks about Habakkuk.
No.
That sounds like a Wookiee name, doesn't it? Habakkuk.
I admittedly, I've been meaning to. This is not an excuse by any stretch of the imagination. I've been meaning to get more into studying and stuff like that, but
Same.
I haven't. I just haven't.
I hear you loud and clear. Me too. I'm in the boat with you. I thought of the. Oh no, you said, did I just make a good point? Can I go back to trolling now? Fantastic. Don't get too excited. Many people think about submission like domination, but the biblical concept is actually the opposite. Yeah, I forget what, if you look in the original language, what the submission means. It doesn't, like Freddie is saying, it doesn't have to do with men being the final authority on everything. It's actually supposed to be that you work together as a team. And what people don't tell you is that women allow men to lead. And I don't want to sound again like a feminist, but it is a choice. When it's not supposed to be that men are the final authority and men are in charge. It's more about, again, teamwork. God put the man in there to lead the household in certain ways, and the woman allows him to lead. Because if she doesn't allow him to lead, then he never actually gets to lead, and you have confrontation in the house, right? So he chooses to lead, right? And she allows him to lead so that there's harmony in the household. Because if the man doesn't choose to lead, then the woman has to lead. And I know so many people in this situation where the man chooses not to lead the household as God has called him to do so. So the woman chooses to lead the household because she has to. Ergo, she cannot submit to her husband because he is not submitted to God. And nobody ever thinks about it like that. Shameful.
Well, one thing that I think that a lot of women don't really realize is just how much power they actually have over men. And that's the argument that I have. Well, I mean, I am curious about that genuinely, because a lot of the feminist talk is talking about like a patriarchal society and such like that. And to your point, women have a lot of control over the situation. You know, a man will kill another man, or I'm sorry, unalive another man. Or are we on YouTube? I don't know if we're on YouTube or not.
We are, but it's okay. I'm not monetized. It's whatever.
Oh, okay. A man will unalive another man, you know, for a simple slight. But, you know, at the behest of a woman, he'll move mountains. Like there's...
Yes.
Obviously, men are the movers and shakers, and that's not to discredit women at all. But the fact that the woman can influence the one who moves the mountains, arguably gives her more power than even the mightiest of men.
No, I agree. If you study history, and it's not even biblical history, one of the best examples that I ever give people is Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. She was a nobody. She was a nothing. And yet she used her powerful, manipulative, seductress ways to change the heart and the mind of the most powerful man in the world at that time frame. And a lot of us can't really comprehend that. But she did. She manipulated him and coerced him, so much so that he actually abandoned the church. The Catholic Church was... dominant at that time, and the Catholic Church was the be-all end-all. You don't go against the church. And King Henry divorced his wife, which was a big no-no back in this time frame. Divorced his wife for no reason, made up lies about her, divorced her, and then changed religion and abandoned the first king, from what I understand, to abandon the Catholic faith and then make his own religion, and took the kingdom and divided it between the Protestants, the Church of England, and then Catholicism, because of one woman. And I agree for me, like to this day, I believe that she is the reason that so many politicians are corrupt. Because when you take out one of the most powerful figures, authoritative figures, which the Bible says that God's the one that's in charge of putting whoever he wants on the throne, and Satan gets in there and weasels around, it affects people. It will trickle down, and it tells like, well, if the king can do it, then I can do it too. So to your point, Moss, 100%, women have a very natural ability to accomplish a lot behind the scenes. And there are some times in history that we see that women are really good in front, but for the most part, seems like God really endowed us with a lot of power behind the scenes. Because isn't it Abraham Lincoln that says, she who rocks the cradle rocks the world?
Oh.
Was that Abraham Lincoln?
I think so. Who
I
wa-
mean, you might know better than I would. I don't study Abraham Lincoln.
Let's see. Let's see. Who rocks the cradle? Rocks the world. Well, because, obviously women, for the most part, they shape the household because they're the ones typically looking after the babies.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who said this? I thought it was Abraham. I know Abraham Lincoln said, everything I ever have been or ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. Oh, my apologies. It was by American poet William Ross Wallace in 1865. I wonder if maybe Abraham Lincoln just quoted him one time, but it's true. It's true. I like to do is play my audio Bible at night when I'm sleeping. Yeah, sometimes I do that. They have some really cool YouTube videos where you have like music and you have a cool person reading stuff. Men and women will never think alike. We look at things differently. The thought process is different. How we just express ourselves is different. But she will have strengths in areas where I will not. And she will be a little weak in areas that I excel. I believe these things can... yeah, 100%. 100%. Hot take. Paul said that women need to close their mouth. How do you think this concept applies in modern times? Well, the first thing you have to understand, Freddie, is that Paul did not tell women to close their mouths. You have to understand the context of what was happening in that time frame. He said that I would not have women to, oh great. Naomi, what's that Bible verse? We all know it. It's been weaponized against women for hundreds of years. I suffer not a woman to teach nor to usurp authority over the man, but let her learn in silence. Oh shoot, what's the rest of that? So what was happening is this, again, people taking this Bible verse and generalizing it, and they don't understand what was happening in the Church of Corinth at this time. And you guys better brace yourselves because it's going to rock your world. Because if you look at the context of that verse, earlier in the chapter in that book, women were actually teaching, and Paul was fine with that. What he was saying was, in this context, there were women who were coming out of paganism and they were trying to teach the word, but they were mixing it and saying things that were contradicting to the word of God. And so Paul was like, I would have that the women of this church, because he was writing a letter specifically to the church of Corinth at the time. He was writing it and saying, you have a problem that your women are teaching false doctrine. And I would rather that they learned in silence so that they don't lead people astray. So they needed to learn the facts before they went out teaching and such. And you'll actually find different examples in the Bible where women were teaching, and even teaching the men. Oh, shoot, what's her name? Was actually teaching Timothy, I want to say it was. And there was no problem with that happening. But that's because she was teaching the gospel. I've known so many women that have such a word from the Lord, and they've been able to help men in their spiritual walk. And why wouldn't they? Because at the foot of the cross, like they say, it's a level playing ground. And God doesn't look at us special in more ways than another. And God at one point put in the Bible that there is now no more Jew nor Gentile. There is no more male or female or bond or free man, but all are equal. And so you have to understand the context of that verse. It's not saying that women are not allowed to teach. It does say that I am of the opinion that women are not meant to be pastors. The Bible's pretty clear about saying the office of, it says I use King James. So in the King James version, it says whoever desires the office of a bishop, which is supposed to be a pastor, must be a man, the husband of one wife, and somebody who doesn't drink, and who can take care of his household and doesn't let them run amok. So lots of men shouldn't be pastors today either. But it nowhere, from what I can see, has said that women are allowed the very difficult position of pastoral, but they are allowed to be teachers. Just at that time frame, the Church of Corinth had a serious problem. And when you look deeper into the history, Oh, it's so fascinating, guys. It's amazing what these people had to undo in their brains because again, at Corinth and the Roman influence and the paganism, women were it was not unusual for people. Well, we're here, all right, we're adults, okay, but I don't want to see how do you use this word? It wasn't unusual for a lot of adults to be acting like adults with other adults and non-adults in the streets and in the temples of the pagan gods. So these people were very twisted, and they were just coming into Christianity. So anybody else have any thoughts on that? I don't want to be the only one that's like, you know.
Well, I do have a question. I want to preface my question with this. So would either of you agree that women are more empathetic than men?
Yes.
They have a greater capacity for empathy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And in that, would you also agree that they might be more willing to bend rules or doctrine in satisfaction of someone's, I don't have really a better word for it other than feelings.
No, I don't agree.
You don't agree with that?
No, because men will bend the rules just as easily for greed and power. So both are willing to bend the knee just for two different reasons.
Point taken. All right.
So, what?
My question is null and void.
Well, so if I might just to further it and prove my point maybe a little bit stronger, look at politicians. Politicians are supposed to be good people. They are supposed to be essentially like pastors for as a government, if you will. They're supposed to look out and take care of the well-being of the country. And how many politicians? What's the ratio of politicians and male to female?
Anymore, it's like, I mean, I don't believe it's 2 to 1.
Oh, for sure. It's
I mean,
way-
I feel like there's got to be more female politicians than that.
Oh no, there's men still dominate, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just true. Men still outnumber women in politics severely, and that's not a problem. I'm not saying that's a problem, but I say severely, it's a terrible thing. So factually, let me put it this, factually, men still are more interested and are more involved in politics than females. And if you look at them with the job that they're supposed to be doing, endowed by God, by the way, how many of them are just corrupt sellouts?
Okay, a good number of them, yeah.
So there is really no difference between, in my opinion, as when it comes to leadership in any case, there's no difference in the position of leadership for that. Now, I think, you know, again, it's like, I think it's hard for pastors too, because the pastors are meant to, you know, as a man, you know, you lean towards your male ways, but you also need to be sympathetic and empathetic towards people because compassion is supposed to move you as it moved Christ, which I would say is a lot different for maybe a politician. I do say that pastors have one of the most difficult occupations out there because you have to lead people to Christ and you want to make sure you're not a heretic. But generally speaking, there are a lot of women who make very good decisions even while being sympathetic or empathetic towards other people.
Tied. Holy smokes.
We are tied, not for long, suckers.
Oh.
That's just me being empathetic.
Shouldn't have said something. No, I fully understand where you're coming from with that.
It depends. It's a heart matter. Because if a woman is in tune with God, she will talk less. She will make fewer mistakes. The same way with a man. It's just that we'll make fewer mistakes in a certain area. The same way with a man, you know? Like, it really doesn't have to do necessarily in that sense. Because, again, the Bible is there full of wisdom that is gender neutral. You know, as much as women talk, the Bible also says that men shouldn't open their mouths and say stupid things and you know.
Yeah, you got a point.
I just want equality for everybody.
Like, because I'm trying to think, because I'm not really entirely sure how to articulate this, and it's like, I don't want to come off in a certain way by trying to express this, but there is a certain aspect of order to male leadership.
Yes.
Corrupt or non-corrupt, right?
Okay.
And you can say that, that's right, that's wrong, yada yada yada, whatever. But this is, I'm getting into the realm of my own opinion here.
Sure. I love it.
It seems to me that, say for example, a lot of times when you hear about, say, criminals being released, or being acquitted of charges, or so on and so forth, due to circumstances beyond their control, regardless of what the crime is. A lot of times you hear, oh, it's a female judge. A lot of the social aspects of our society, which most even currently deem reprehensible or degenerate, are touted by women. Case in point, if you look at the demographics for people who voted, Space Station again.
We'll go back out. We'll go back out.
If you look at the demographics for especially young people who voted, but I think it's true across all generations. Women tend to vote a lot more in favor of liberal socioeconomic policy. Men tend to vote for a lot more conservative socioeconomic policy. And you can make your arguments as to which one is moral and which ones aren't. But I think that it has been more or less proven through history that a more conservative-leaning socioeconomic policy direction tends to function a little bit better. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just kind of the way that I see it at this point. And I know I'm delving into the realm of politics, which might not necessarily be the necessarily be the appropriate venue for.
I ain't afraid. We talk about everything here.
Yeah, I'm Mexican. I won't be offended.
See, there's your answer. So I think and I hear you loud and clear. I know that can be kind of taboo. Women have like weaponized men in their conversations. I get it. We appreciate that men are trying to be more considerate of what they say to women, but I think, like, are you basically trying to say that it seems that women don't make as good decisions in leadership positions as men?
I think that,
and it's okay if that's what you're trying to say.
The too long didn't read version is women involve feelings in decision making too often.
Okay, yes.
And it leads to a disorderly society.
I would agree with that, because women are, like you said, they tend to show compassion faster and everything. There is, again, it's one of those things where, using your brain or using your feelings, and women can be very quick to use their feelings because we are built that way. It's kind of like when children fall down, most women will be like, oh my gosh, it's okay, are you okay? It's okay, I want to check on you, because we are overly concerned. Whereas a lot of times men are like, just rub some dirt on it and be all right.
Walk it off.
Or I'll get off, unless you have, my parents. But, again, just backgrounds. But I think that goes into, it's, the thing with the science of the male and the female brain, where women do try to avoid conflict. It's naturally the thing, which in a way makes women good diplomats. Very diplomatic approach to life most women have. But I would be inclined to agree that, yeah, women, especially if your heart is not aligned with the Bible and you're not in tuned to gain wisdom. The Bible says that, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. I cannot get through this cookie. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And you'll see that most politicians, and I would bring it back to men and women, don't fear God. And I'm going to bring this back up. Oh my gosh. I'm going to bring this back up just because it's historical and biblical. It's not meant to throw shade on men, but it's again one of the circumstances where women try to take control of certain situations. And of course, they have the free will to do that. But then it also asking the question, where were the men? Suddenly, the men became very empathetic and sympathetic in places that they weren't supposed to be, alongside of the women. And so our country is the way that it is. If we had the men who were using... It's terrible, it sounds really bad, but again, it's not like I want to put the blame on the men. This is a team effort. Women should do better, men need to do better. But the men were, because again, men had most of the, and still do, but have most of the authority in politics. Men did not lead as they were meant to, and did not correct the women and saying, well, this is why we're doing it. They just didn't want to deal with the whining.
I agree.
And so here again, because, you know, you look in the Bible where in the book of Judges, for those who don't know, judges were the people that were basically in charge of the children of Israel for different decades before they had a king. And so judges, they weren't just judges in the way that we think about judges, like, you know, sitting in a courtroom and making laws and whatever. They were there to enforce laws. They were there to make very strong decisions for the entire nation of Israel. And one of the judges, I think it's the only recorded female judge. Now, and a judge is appointed by God. In those days, nobody picks the judge. God does. And I've heard all the nasty things that people have to say about Deborah, but she was a war strategist. I don't know if people know that, but it specifically says that the men came to her because they were having a hard time with the evil people that they were battling against, and they just couldn't figure it out. And this is one of the few times where this particular female's brain was wired for success in this area. I am inclined to believe, like many, that the Bible does have very specific roles for men and women, but there are times where God calls different people to do things that are out of the ordinary because we are wired differently. So like going with your point, women feeling feelings more often is true. And that's why Deborah was a rarity. She could actually lead both men and women, apparently very soundly, because she did not rely on feelings. I don't know, does that answer your question? I feel like I maybe went around it.
No, absolutely. And again, it's like, and I actually talked about this on Saturday during Saturday morning map making. Like, some people have the inability to grasp the concept of speaking in averages, and that's basically all that I assume you've been doing basically all night here. It's just speaking in averages. Mm-hmm. It's like, have you ever heard somebody ask somebody else, how would you feel if you hadn't had breakfast this morning?
Know me. I feel it's a know me question.
I feel the same because I always skip breakfast. I was never a breakfast person.
Right. But the idea behind asking that question is in the phrasing, right? Mm-hmm. It's, how would you feel if you didn't have breakfast this morning? And it's an imperfect test, but it's basically, you find the difference between people who will say, well, I imagine that I would probably feel hungry right about now. Mm-hmm. And the people who say, well, but I did have breakfast this morning.
Right. I figured that's where you're going with this. Like the logic behind the question, what does it matter what your feelings are? You know, when it comes to breakfast. Yeah. But
it's like, it assesses somebody's, to a very rudimentary degree, it assesses somebody's ability to think in hypotheticals.
Yes. And I will be the person that says that I'm kind of a mix of both worlds, because I would answer you in the way of like, well, I would probably feel hungry and blah, blah, blah. And then I would think about it and be like, well, it doesn't matter because it's not happening, right? Like, but you know, It does. You know, that's the thing. Also, it's also about being honest and knowing where your strengths lie. So you have a woman like, let me give you an example. You got a woman like Christy Nome. Okay, whether you love her or hate her, that woman's pretty rock solid in many ways that most women are not. She's the kind
yeah.
of gal, like a lot of farm women, okay? Like a lot of people that grow up on farms and in the sticks and stuff like that. These are the kind of people that if your dog has rabies, you take them in the backyard and you shoot them, okay? I am not one of these people. I probably could if I absolutely had to, like if it was going to attack a kid or something like that. But to put the dog out of its misery by shooting, I couldn't do it. I'm not built that way. My mental fortitude is not strong enough for that. I know where my strength is on that topic. So it's like having a come to Jesus conversation that if you're running for governor and you're running for mayor and judge and all this kind of stuff, I think especially whether you're male or female, it's like, where are your strengths at on this? And let's be real. You know, a lot of people just, they get so power hungry. Like they start out really good, right? And then they realize there comes money and you have the final say. And it's like knowing, again, where your strength lies. And then as a female, we understand, or we should understand, that it's okay if it's hard to make decisions because people have bad lives, right? That doesn't make you a terrible person. It's what are your actions? You could, like, I could have sympathy for a person who grew up in a terrible atmosphere. Maybe there was absence of father or mother in the household. They never felt loved. And I can follow the psychological trail of the whys and the reasons that this person has now ended up in the life that they were. You know, you hear about these children that they run to gangs, right? Because they never had family and it's a way for them to feel accepted. I can sympathize with that. But at the end of the day, it's like, but you did the crime. You didn't have to. But there's some people that just can't get past that. They just can't get that. And you should know, you need to know your strengths on that. I don't think I could have the mental fortitude to look a child in the eye and be like, you're going to prison.
I can.
You know?
I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, that's a tough one. You never really know until you're
there.
faced with the situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, and
Like, yeah, that's a tough one.
At the same time, I see some people in the chat, like they had parents like mine where it's like, my mom was the type of person to pop it back in place and send me off on their merry way. There are some women that they don't play. Like their kids, they understand that if I give this kid an inch, he will take a mile. And so it just kind of depends on the space. But God has it specifically designed that in general, for the most part, God has designed it for the benefit. I'd like to throw that out there too. For the benefit of women, if they're able to, the benefit of women to be at home and nurture the family in whatever way. Now, he didn't say you can't have a job. He didn't say that you can't have a business out of your garage, but your primary responsibility, in the same way that a man's primary responsibility is to take care of his family. And we're supposed to be good in these things. Like, it's supposed to complement one another. I know that's not the case for everybody because the economy hates the family. But, every now and then you're going to get a Deborah. You're going to get a Christy Nome that does an amazing job in the job that she has, has the mental fortitude. But it might not be the average.
Did you know, here's a fun little factoid for you. Did you know that, oh gosh, why can't I think of her name all of a sudden? Senator, Pocahontas. Oh gosh.
Oh, Elizabeth Warren.
Yes. Did you know that she wrote a book called The Two-Parent Trap?
No.
And how, yeah. She wrote a book called The Two-Parent Trap, which is basically about how the economy has been rigged against parents.
Yes,
and how
it has.
Yeah. And how it's supposed to ideally function in a way that allows for one parent to work and the other to stay home.
She wrote a book on that?
She did, yes.
What?
Yes, you can look it up. Yep, Elizabeth Warren did.
I gotta find that. What? I bet it's a good read.
It might actually be a good book. I don't know.
I know. It sounds like she's right on track. Yes, exactly. God moves in mysterious. So, also, if you think about, like, when we were talking about submission earlier, Christy Nome, if I'm not mistaken, she's married, right?
She is.
I
So,
think so.
you know, if, and I don't know the ins and outs, but you could have somebody, I remember even like Sarah Palin when she was running, and she and her husband seemed to have a good, healthy relationship. Her husband worked, he was just a manual labor kind of guy, but she wanted to make a change in her state. She ran for governor, all this kind of stuff. And so talking about submission, if her husband is fine with it and she can still meet the needs of her family, meet the needs of her man, then that's the submission that works for her family, right? But she's not trying to undermine her man. She's not trying to take his role. She's just doing this, that, and the third. That might not be the same way for other people who couldn't, I don't want to say handle, because that makes it sound like a man being weak. But in a sense, like, it just wouldn't work for the family, you know? And so some women submit to their husband's desire that they stay at home and not run for governor, if that makes sense. I felt like I didn't really clarify the whole submission looking different for people, but I feel like that could be a good example right there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Deborah had to put up with Ray Barron. Everyone loves Raymond Oh, okay. Yeah, well, his wife was a trip too. I think God gave the role of leadership to men, and if no man steps up to the job, God will make sure his will is carried out and may send a woman to do it to make the men feel ashamed. See, I've heard that my entire life growing up in church, and I disregard it 100%, because that makes it sound like women, no disrespect to you, Candace, I get where you're coming from, and I wouldn't doubt that there are some instances in that moment, but that is all I've ever heard growing up, and I reject it for the most part, because it makes women sound like they're secondary, and that men need to, how do I word it? Like women can't do a good enough job. Like, oh, God had to use a woman because a man wouldn't step up. Do you see how that comes across? Like, and maybe again, it's like you didn't mean it. I'm pretty sure you didn't, because again, I used to be on that track, but it's like now when you start doing your study of women's influence in the gospel and in the Bible, and again, you always have to preface, you always sound like, I say you don't want to come across as a feminist, but it's more of like, guys, like, people just don't talk about the women in the Bible that God used and how special it was, because women were always treated, I say always, for the most part in history, were always treated like secondary citizens. Actually, some women were treated like animals. You know, the value was only as good as a goat. And so I've heard that about Deborah. Like, God used Deborah because no man would step up and he needed them to be ashamed. You don't read that anywhere in the Bible at all. I wouldn't doubt there's some instances where, yes, God did use it where it's like, you need to step up and I'm just going to use a woman, but I don't read that in that particular context. There's nothing in there that says the men were ashamed and they were hesitant to go to Deborah. In fact, all the leaders went to Deborah. You can't tell me not a single one of those men weren't ashamed and wouldn't have mentioned that at some point. And again, a judge appointed by God out of all those men. And if you also, in context, if you look at the times where God called a man and the man was scared and tried to get out of being a judge. So it's not like there weren't men that God couldn't have called on that were afraid, that didn't want to, that rejected the idea. Freaking Jonah, man. Like, he went way out of his way to avoid the will of God. So, I don't know. You don't think there would have been a woman and it would have been easier to track down a godly woman than to try to get Jonah to go tell the people of Nineveh that God was going to destroy them unless they repented? So, I'm sorry. I get really passionate about that one because, like I said, I just heard that my whole life. And then when you start really reading the Bible and studying how beautiful God thought women were, and again, it's not hate on men, it's more of a cultural thing, where it was just like, no, I can't believe that God would use women as secondary citizens to accomplish his will. And again, this could just be the difference between the men and the women's thinking. Men don't have to think about these things because the culture has always been highly in favor of men. And that's not being feminist. That's just, I think we can all admit that it's, pretty true, especially in a lot of other countries.
What do you mean? What do you mean in favor? And are we talking about our culture, the Judeo-Christian culture, or are we talking about globally as a?
I would say both.
Just a citizen of the world type thing.
I would say both because even for a long time in Judeo-Christianity, actually, it wasn't until like, you get along with like the Puritans and things like that, you actually study the biblical time frames of Christianity. And again, women were highly used in the spreading of the gospel. And it was almost like as soon as like Europe started evolving, it was kind of like women needed to be put in their place or something like this. And so I know it sounds terrible. It always sounds like women are crying and it's like, oh, oppression. But it's like women also have to fight being taught that men are the problem. That's another thing. So we have these historical moments in time where women were secondary citizens. And of course we know not all men thought that. I mean, again, generalization. But also then women always being taught that men always treated women like secondary citizens. And we got to combat that as well. But wait a minute. What was your question again, Moss? I'm going to make sure I'm not sidetracking here.
I was just trying to narrow down as to what culture you're generally referring to.
Like Judeo-Christianity.
I would say most, because kind of going back to what you had said earlier, where a lot of the thought process of a man that's built in, correct me if I'm wrong here, but is and I've heard this from other people, but you have a different approach and I appreciate, is men have a strong innate desire to conquer.
Yeah.
And so women being looked at as the weaker vessel tends to uplift people with pride. Like, in a sense that's like, oh, well, God says you're the... I've heard this growing up, like I said. It's not just one person. And it's really sad because it was often in the church, where it's like, women are the weaker vessel, women are the helpers, and they are. But it's almost like it's weaponized, like it's criminal. Like, well, she's a woman. I don't know if you've ever heard anything like that growing up. Hopefully not.
I mean, honestly, honestly, I can't really think of an instance when I encountered a sentiment like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Right.
Obviously, I know it happens. I know it's a common held belief. But yeah, I don't know. The only reason I say that is because, like, I think that there were certain balancing mechanisms throughout societies, and I'm talking mainly just about Western society here.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely not the case if you look at other societies.
Yeah.
But
No
I mean,
problem.
for instance, like, there was a long-held belief that women couldn't own businesses or property or so on and so forth, and it was like, well, I mean, that may have been true to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is they could. But a lot of things one thing that a lot of people like to point to is the fact that if a woman got married, then all of her property transferred over to her husband.
Right.
Well, that is true, but so did her debts.
Mm-hmm.
And so the debts also fell on the husband as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just to kind of further build upon that, if there was a domestic abuse type situation,
Mm-hmm.
If a man beat his wife, typically there was a punishment for that. But if a woman beat her husband for any reason, the husband usually got punished for that too. And an example that I've heard for that is that they would. This is probably one culture in particular that I'm thinking about, and forgive me because I don't know the exact nature of it. But it was basically like the man would be made to ride backwards on a donkey through town and basically made to look like the village idiot. He'd be shamed for letting his wife beat him. So it's like, I think that while I don't disagree with you, I don't disagree with you at all. In fact, and that women had been made to feel and be historically made to be like second-class citizens. Sure. But I think that there have been a lot of forward strides in especially our culture. To alleviate that. Mostly guided by Judeo-Christian principles.
I agree with you, and I think it's one of those things again where it's like perspective as well. You know, there might have been some conversations that you've never heard of or were not aware of because as a man you wouldn't have to think about that. There again, it's also there are some things I never want to be like, oh, because you're a man, but so there's going to be conversations that women aren't aware of. I think women might be more aware only because like what we had said previously, we tend to just know things. Like you said, I actually heard somebody say that gossip is a form of protection for some women, and to a degree I will agree with that. And it's, if you have a smart woman, it's not so much about you want to know the bad things about people, but it's more of like, oh, I kind of want to know the bad things about people because I need to know, is this a person I need to be around? Whereas there are some women that are like, well, just tell me all the bad stuff about a person. There's kind of a difference there. But no, I agree with you. Like, because of Judeo-Christians, like when you really interpret the Bible, and I do appreciate the men that do stand up for women and that listen to women and really expound on what did God design women to do? How can women help? Because we are essential just as much as a man is. Unfortunately, I hope that was never the case for you. I don't know if that was ever the way for you, Nomi. I did, not all churches, but I did a good portion of my life. It was always inferred to that women were weak and women were basically just helpers. And while God did create us to be the helpers for men, it's almost like it's a belittlement when they talk about it. So you'll find unfortunately, you will find a lot of bitter and passionate women in church who detest certain Bible verses because most of the time, not all the time, most of the time when men use it, like that verse about women need to study to be quiet, women need to sit down and they don't have any authority to teach. They themselves don't have any context for that, and they're using it to weaponize women into being quiet and being treated as less than. And that happens in churches here in America all the time. And I thank you, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. There's only so many ways to express oneself on the computer. I get you. I do. Like I said, I get so passionate about that verse because once you know that's also the thing is like once you know the truth about something, it's like, oh man, we've been doing this wrong for so long. But you know, that's fascinating that you do bring up the whole men were basically shamed. They were punished if they did, and they were shamed if they didn't. I will say that is something that women definitely have a perk in life. Like it's not like it's always been everything's against women and men get nothing against them. Like you just gave that perfect example that there are times in history where men got the shortcoming of the situation. You know, and women do also, again, we rely a lot on the conversation and feelings. So it's like an instant, your ire instantly like just rises when certain things get mentioned. Wasn't it God's design for Eve to be a helper to Adam? 100% it was. 100% it was. Helper infers to shortcomings of one another. Exactly. We're kind of been taught that being a helper is a secondary thing. We all know that without the people behind the scenes, the gaffers, the lighting, the director of photography, Lord of the Rings would never be as awesome as it is. But does anybody know the names of the people in the background? No. Because who gets promoted, who gets highlighted? The actors, the director.
I mean, I might know most of them, but that's not, you know what, I only watch the appendices all the way through like 6 times.
100%. But you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to like anything that is mainstream or whatever, who gets the most, you know, praise and admirement? That's not a word, is it? Admiration. Thank you. I was like, what's the word? Admiration. It's always the people that are out front, making the people in the back feel kind of left out and not quite as important, even though they're essential. And so that's kind of like, at least again in churches, that's kind of was the idea where women were only good enough to work in the nursery, be bus drivers, teach Sunday school up to the age of 12, work in the kitchen.
Really, women drive?
I know, and some of my we were pretty progressive. Character limits is why I'm just sitting back and letting them speak. Fantastic says, thanks for, he's Moss. How do you feel about that? Fantastic's just letting us speak. Just letting us speak.
I mean, it's kind of a nice break.
The best explanation ever. But, Yeah, so the maturity is also understanding, again, that the world is broken and that none of us are acting like the best versions of ourselves outside of Jesus. And if all of us are trying to act like Jesus, we see each other equally and we don't belittle one another anyway. Just because of our gender or our roles, we see the value because we look beyond ourselves and we see what God instilled for our lives, even if we don't agree with it, but we trust Him anyway. And then at the end of the day, you'll realize, like, as a woman, from what I'm understanding, that it's like, okay, being quote unquote, but that's the other thing too. Like, I don't know if guys ever hear about this stuff, but like women, when they meet other career people, and they're like, well, they'll question whenever they go to dinner parties and stuff like that. I remember my mom used to be like that. My dad being in the military and stuff like that, and they go to places and she'd be around all these other career women. They say, well, what do you do? And she'd say, I'm a housewife. And they're like, oh, you're just a housewife? As if it's not one of the most important roles in the world. But it's not really looked at like that, you know?
See, if I
That's
ever
so
had that
weird.
type of- Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Mom.
Naomi. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I would have replied back with, hell yeah, I'm a housewife. I stay at home. I get to
right?
bake cookies.
My husband takes me to the spa once a month.
Yeah. I'm not bothered for 8 hours. Well, depending if the kids are in school or not, but yeah, that's like the most prideful thing a woman can say is like, I take care of my house.
But it's not looked at that. It's not looked at that,
I
you know,
know.
that way. And so, you know, it's, again, women have to combat other women because these women are out here busy trying to be like men, and other women are trying to just be women, but other women are putting them down.
I was ready to fist fight those women for
You know-
that. Like, no.
Yeah.
You know what's wild? It's funny that you mentioned that because I don't know if you're familiar with Chris Williamson.
Oh, no.
But he does a podcast called Modern Wisdom,
Ooh.
and he was on Tucker Carlson.
Oh, Tuckle.
He was on Tucker Carlson earlier today, and he was basically saying, he said that he had Andrew Schultz, who's a comedian, on his podcast, and they were just kind of talking. And he said that Andrew had said something about because Andrew's wife. Used to work at Google. So she was a very successful, business-oriented woman and everything. Well, those two had just had a kid. And he said that he went to the store with his wife at one point, and she ran into some people that she used to work with, so on and so forth. And the people that she used to work with asked her, oh, well, what are you doing now? And she said that oh, I'm just a housewife, or I'm just a mom now.
Yeah.
And you know, Andrew was basically just like the word just like rocked him to his core. He's like, don't you understand that that's like the most important thing that you can be right now?
It's nice and refreshing. What were you going to say, Nomi?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was probably the key to the whole conversation. Let me see. I've gotten into multiple arguments with the idiots who will use those verses as a cudgel to basically say, I'm a man, they're a woman, they should shut up and give me my way. Yeah, exactly. And that's not how God designed it. I think what Tabitha is missing is that the same problem she had with the condemnation she feels towards women, men also have condemnation, but they're different. See, and this is what I think women are definitely more outspoken about this topic than men. Because women, I think, feel more passionately. Maybe it's because it's more mainstream, and kind of like what Moss was saying earlier, it's like guys don't talk about this. So like what Fantastic is talking about, I don't have a clue what he's talking about. What exactly is the condemnation that men feel but is different? Is it because in current society, because I mean, I think there's also a difference, like right now in current society is definitely very much man bashing. I feel like we're coming out of that era slowly, like a snail's pace, but surely we're starting to really see the benefit of men in our society as they've always been. But I mean, I think we all know that for like the last 10, 20 years, it's all been, you know, men haters club. So I don't know, is that what you're talking about, Fantastic? Or Moss, do you have an idea what he's talking about? Do you speak dude? You know, do you understand what he's talking about?
I tend to think that I'm fluent in dude.
Okay, all right.
He's a
So,
dude. She's a dude.
reiterate. I'm sorry, I was trying to get up these doggone water jets, and I have no idea. Can you reiterate what the
I
what the thing
will.
was for me?
Mr. The Fantastic Sarcastic says, I think that what Tabitha is missing is the same problems she had with the condemnation she feels towards women. Men also have condemnation, but they're different.
Well, yeah, they are different in that. So a woman might hear the condemnation. Oh, why aren't you a mother yet? Why don't you have a husband yet? Why don't you have this and that and the other thing?
Okay.
Whereas men will typically hear the thing. It's a lot of it is, what are you doing for your family? How much money are you making? How much have you achieved? And men are a lot of times made to feel lesser than if they have not achieved a certain level for their family, say.
Sure.
So, like, not to make this about myself, but it's like, I
Go get it, girl.
like I
Girl.
but like I never once did I envision that, I would work at a bank.
Okay.
I thought, because when I was in high school, I was like, oh yeah, I had a university picked out. I knew what my major was going to be. I knew this and that and the other thing, and it didn't turn out that way. And it just is what it is. But there's always this, this, whether it's internal, external, doesn't really matter. But there is always this pressure that you have not achieved enough. You have not done enough. And there is, like, whenever you take a moment to relax, why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you at the gym? Why aren't you writing? Why aren't you studying? Why aren't you doing this and that and the other thing? So that's basically, I think what he's saying.
Interesting. It's so funny because I hear a lot of women have that same problem too, on top of all the other female problems that they have.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just like, why aren't you doing more? I think it goes also, it must be with the modern thing too, where it's, it's like, why aren't you writing that book? Why aren't you making that movie? Why aren't you the president of something on top of being a mom or just a mom or something like that? But it's like, that's a lot of hard work, even to be a dad,
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to make this, solely about like, oh, well, this is a woman's focus should be solely on what a man's opinion is. But men don't care about whether or not you write that book. I know that women care about that kind of stuff.
Wait. Do you mean like another
have
person or yourself?
Men don't care if you as a woman writes that book.
Oh, okay.
They don't care how much money you make. They don't care that you got that degree. Like, say if, for example, I was to go out on a first date with somebody and she started telling me about her education and this and that and the other thing, I'd be like, I genuinely do not care what you have achieved.
Oh.
And that's not to belittle anybody.
Okay.
I think that 8 out of 10 men will have the same sentiment. It's just not something that we're worried about because we are worried more about, is this somebody that I would want to start a family with that I could provide for? Because we're naturally hardwired to want to provide for a family.
Fascinating.
And we don't want to have to rely on a woman to. That's like why I'm sorry if I'm hogging up too much airtime.
No, please.
No, stop.
But like I have said for a while now, I was talking to my coworker, and basically my ambition is to be able to give my wife the choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if she wants to work, cool. By all means, let her do it. I'd prefer that maybe she didn't. But otherwise, if she wants to, that's fine. But I want to make sure that I can facilitate the option.
Right. I think, is that also due to like safety concerns?
What do you mean?
Well, I would have wondered, I've heard that my dad was the same way. Like he didn't want my mom to work, not because he was like, I'm the man, but it was partially because it's like, well, I'm the man. I meant to provide for my family, and I want to give my wife, the option, or I want to give my wife the luxury, if you will, of not having to work. And then later on, he was like, if you want to work, you can, but is it, but preferred not to? Is it kind of like in the back of your mind, like a safety thing where it's like, my wife is safe at home. I don't want her out there with the weirdos and the lunatics and the perverts. Or is that a female's interpretation of a man and not a man's idea at all?
I think honestly, more than anything, I think a child needs both parents.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
But I think especially in the early stages of development, a child needs its mother a lot more.
Oh yeah. She got that thing that makes her so special.
And I honestly, maybe it's just me, but I think that, a lot of men are just more willing to be world weary, and they would prefer that their wives not be exposed to that kind of thing. It's like, I'd rather make sure that the only worry that my wife has is my kids.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's actually, see, this is a really beautiful sentiment. Sorry, Nomi, where it's like, I just pushed you off the ground. Where, you're, it's like you're limiting her concerns, essentially, because I guess men don't know this, but maybe they somehow instinctually do, because women do tend to worry more than men, like we'd said earlier. Their brains never shut down. It's actually, it's said that 70% of women's brains still are, if you will, functioning and going when they're asleep, whereas men's is 20%. And so I'm wondering if that's also kind of part of God's design, because he wants women to look after the ways of the home, and it's difficult for women to shut their brains off. And so I guess it's like a protective measure, also from the husband, where it's like, I don't want her to have to worry about a million different things that I could take care of for her. Is that maybe the correct kind of thought process?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Let's see. It's hard to lead someone who doesn't want to be led, or teach someone who doesn't want to be taught. Oh, absolutely. And that goes both ways. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to, number one, loosely, men have to be, in a way, and this is going to sound really bad, but, so in the way that Moss was saying, like, men are looking for this, that, and the third in a woman, women are also looking for a man to follow. I know that doesn't sound current, but in a way, women are looking for a man that's worthy of following, right? Like we were saying earlier with like tears and crying. We don't want a man that cries all the time. We want a man that would be willing to be vulnerable with us. That earns our respect. And so women do need to learn to be humble and follow their husbands. And men need to be humble and learn to listen to their wives. This is why it keeps going back to teamwork. It's the same thing even, in like the games, like even between friendships like Nomi, Moss, Smoo, all of us. Like if we want to get along, we have to understand that we're all different. I mean, you see how like we every now and then we kind of overlap each other, and we're gracious to one another and say, oh, no, you go. You have a fair point. You go. It's good. It could be some of the stuff maybe we don't 100% agree with one another. I don't know. None of my business. But we're willing to listen. It's half the battle is just being willing to listen, Fantastic says Moss is also right. And Lawrence says Moss is 100% correct. I was speaking more of how church speaks of biblical womanhood and biblical manhood and expectation. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's true. Pastors need to be worthy of leadership, and people also need to be gracious and extend compassion to pastors who are still learning. So that's why it's never one person's thing. Goes back to Adam and Eve. It's never one person's thing. Eve should not have led with curiosity. I do believe that's why women are as curious as they are. If you start doing a psychological analysis of Adam and Eve, you'll understand why men and women are the way they are. It all goes back to the garden. And so Eve should not have led with curiosity, and Adam should have spoken up and corrected her, but he didn't. So again, God held Adam accountable for it, but he also condemned Eve. I think a lot of people forget that too, where it's like, yeah, he called Adam out because he was the leader, but he punished Eve pretty badly.
Oh yeah. For sure.
He punished her physically. He was much harder on women with the punishment. I would assume people could agree with that. Physically, women got very much the short end of the stick out of the whole garden scenario. But I would say maybe societally, or however you want to word that maybe it was maybe men. By God, not by man. I think societally, women still ended up with, in the past, they ended up with the shorter end of the stick because people chose to be douchebags. But just based on what God's judgment was for people, I mean, he told Adam, by the sweat of your brow, you're going to be working the rest of your life. And that sucks.
Yeah.
She crazy.
She
Serpents will bruise the heel of man, and man shall crush the serpent's head. Yada yada. Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, somebody says fair point, Moss. Women's brains don't shut off because they're listening for the baby cry or that strange noise in the house. This is what I've heard. That it's a defense mechanism. Women are always women tend to always be prepared for the worst case scenario because it's a protective instinct, not necessarily because they're worrywarts. But you can easily become a worrywart as a woman because of those instincts, How do you lose a woman? You forget to cherish her. That's right. Somebody watches Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
What? That's on the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
Mm-hmm. How do you lose a woman? You forget to cherish her. It's true, though.
Wow.
No lies detected. No lies detected. This has been a fantastic evening of conversation. I hope everybody's enjoyed it as much as I have.
Dude, I've been enjoying this. Yeah, this TED Talk of theology, and I guess you can say like women's places and men's places too. But it's not to be against or pinned against each other. It's more of a how can we have a better understanding of each other?
Yeah,
right.
And God's design for one another. See, these words have been weaponized to trigger us. Women's places, because for years, you need to know your place. A woman's place. A woman's place is in the kitchen, barefoot, baking biscuits and bearing babies. I've actually heard people say that.
Giving beers to your husband.
No, they didn't say that because we was in church. But I've literally heard pastors say that women's place is in the kitchen, baking biscuits and bearing babies.
If you don't mind me asking, Tabitha, what denomination did you grow up in?
Baptist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Makes sense. The obvious ones. Hey, it started out good. When I was in a third world country, it was great. You move to America, American Baptists are the worst, and the Southern Baptists are even worse.
I'll tell you, I think that all denominations get some stuff right, and all denominations get some stuff wrong.
100%.
So, I mean,
It wasn't all bad stuff. No, it wasn't all bad stuff. And I would say, I kind of got to that point where I was like, aren't we all supposed to just kind of be loving Jesus? I don't read about Methodists and Baptists in the Bible, except for John. But the Paulicians, they say the Paulicians were as close to the teachings of John the Baptist the most in those times, and they were the people that followed Paul so much that they were known as the Paulicians. A lot of people don't know that in their Baptist history. Or church history, excuse me. Have you ever heard of the Paulicians?
I can't say that I have.
See, nobody ever talks about the Paulicians. Freddie says, how did we get to this conversation? I'm curious. How did we get to this conversation?
Yeah, we kind of went into a deep dive on this.
Did I walk into this conversation, or did it start after I got here? I don't even remember.
It definitely started after you got here.
We were talking about something female related, and then I think Moss walked in, and then we just kind of kept going.
We're going on Moss looking good in guyliner.
This is true. We were talking about how handsome he is, and how he would look great with eyeliner, and then Nomi started talking about stupid shoes that nobody actually ever wore.
I did.
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
I'm going to spend the rest of the night trying to delve back into the depths of how we got here. That's going to be my focus for the rest of the night.
Real Steven TV says, when is the next episode of Couples Therapy? We gotta figure that out. Nomi's busy, apparently. Going through a drive-through. Well, you know, yeah, you see how she treats me? We've got life stuff, as if our friendship isn't as important as life.
It's actually this, Steven TV. Life stuff on both parties, mine and Tabitha's.
I'm here. I'm here.
She's here, but like when she's finishing, mine's starting. So, man, being adults sucks. We can't align our schedules together.
It does and it doesn't, because as I was telling one of my, I went to a wedding 2 weeks ago, and as I was telling, or a week ago, gosh, life is so fast. Anyway, one of my 16-year-old cousins, and I was like, you know, they say being an adult sucks, but I could literally, I've said this before, but I could literally go to Walmart, get a ice cream cake, and sit in my car and eat it in the parking lot and do what I want and blast K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm like, sorry, you can't do that. She's like, I can do that. I drive. I'm like, no, it's different. It's different when you're living at home and you're still a minor and you're using mom and dad's money. This is my money. Money I pay taxes on, and I can go do whatever I want with it. Going through I'm sorry.
I've done that with a rotisserie chicken in my car.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Going through a drive-through last Valentine's, the girl asked me if I got anything for Valentine's. I told her I just got off work. Then I told her, find the guy that doesn't give you candy. What? For Valentine's, but does little things for you throughout the year. That's a keeper. That's true. That's true. Tabitha, if I may ask, are you charismatic now? I'm always charismatic. Oh, you mean religiously? What is? I don't even really honestly know what that means.
Like Pentecostal, like dances with the snakes.
No, I don't dance with wolves or snakes. I leave that for the men. Apparently that's something they're really into. I don't understand all the denominations. I tell people, you know, I grew up Baptist, and I'm not really like, it doesn't matter. I just tell people I'm a child of God. I'm a Christ follower is what I tell people. Should I stir the pot? It says fantastic. Does God choose the one for you, or does he sanctify the one you choose? I've heard that, and you know what? I'm just going to go on record as saying that there are some questions, like I am more than happy to debate a conversation. I think we all understand that Tabitha doesn't mind going places with any topic of conversation. But I will also say that there's definitely a lot of things that I think about and talk about that God's probably like, you know, it doesn't matter. That's a good question, though. Fantastic. I've heard a lot of people in church circles debate that one as well. Like, God has the one for you. That would take me like a whole nother 2 hours to talk about. I think this is a safe place to say this. What's Freddie gonna say? Being taught by a good pastor makes my mind and soul better prepared to defend any argument with biblical. Oh, that's his job. It's almost like being a parent. Like, they're meant to teach you how to live in this world efficiently. A pastor is meant to exhort you and encourage you and rebuke you at times so that you live a better life for Christ in this world to point other people to Jesus, not like a we for no more kind of person. God sends you someone, but you can say no. This is true, Lawrence. No dances with wolves, not a Kevin Costner fan. I love Kevin Costner. He's like one of the few last manly men in Hollywood. That is just my opinion, but I've never seen Dances with Wolves. All right, guys, I am tired. Unless anybody has any final thoughts, I'm ready to hear.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think we might have covered every single pressing topic
of society ever.
Of society at large. Yeah, I think we've solved everybody's problems tonight.
I think we did, Moss. What would you say is the conclusion of the whole matter?
The conclusion of the whole matter is that everything has its place in God's great design, and we'll just leave it at that.
Amen. I love that.
I like it. And I'm not going to be a woman and add on to what Moss said, because that would be a bad idea. But anyway.
Always got to have the last word, don't you?
I'm going to send you guys to Epic Mike. Tell him he looks shorter now. He got his hair done. So last night I went to church, felt like a lot like theater production. Yeah, that happens.